Little Chad and Slender Dad, they the truest of kin. Streaming on Friday nights, where the realness begin. They dive deep in pop culture, from cinema to play. On YouTube they ride waves, never following the cliche. Brahma bull, he's swirling wisdom in his cup. Machismo spitting facts like a fire spark. Lil Chad, he the monarch of movie lore. Slender Dad's blade cuts through, getting chat to roar. It's action mixed with laughter that's gonna cling. Pop culture poppin' with a vibe that's king. They paint a picture vivid with each episode, a symphony of culture in the streaming abode. Ascending art, it's time we commence. With laughter and knowledge we end ignorance. Pop some popcorn, settle in and witness the show. The finest stream you'll see on your screen, you should know.
So, if that is an old intro that is no longer lore valid, I apologize. But we have made the switch, and we're actually operating out of Mad's StreamYards, and so I had to try to find. For people who don't know, gets into grooves, and he starts creating epic amounts of intro or outro videos. So it's hard to keep track of which one is the
grooves
official
slash
current
boredom.
When somebody wakes up at like 2 a.m. Eastern and just wants to work through, I guess whatever we call it, it works.
I got to do something. What am I going to do? Let's make 50 songs.
Yes. So, welcome to this End Art podcast. As per usual, hanging out here on Friday night. I see that we've got some of our usual crowd hanging out: FKHC, Bad Take Bojan, Josh Hammond, who was in lore accurate, everyone, and a guy named him. Smokey, sup, coming from down. I was going to say down under. What is New Zealand have their own version of down under?
Down under adjacent.
You're down under?
Down under +1.
Doesn't appear on Globe.
Oh, wait.
Way down under.
No, they're down under plus. They're like a streaming service for Australia. Davina, hey. And Soul Assassin, thanks for hanging out. So, all right. So we're going to have some fun. As you saw, hopefully, if you checked out the thumbnail, I've been enjoying getting in on the trend, and I made some Jason Statham, Mizuzaki Ghibli style thumbnail
Land
art.
of the Long White Cloud? Fucking lame.
Well, that's just gay.
I have never heard that phrase before.
No, I haven't either.
Well, he's one of 10 people who live there, and we happen to know him, so.
Yeah. He was 10% of the vote to make that their freaking slogan.
Well, that slogan's just, gay, man. I don't want to say it.
This aggression will not stand.
This aggression doesn't mean... yeah, I've been enjoying going on Grok and just...
A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of strands to keep on old Duder's head.
Yep. I like how Grok decided to put the other character in the bathrobe too, just so that it was thematically going good on the... Like, when you do other like AI images, Mizuzaki style, it doesn't do that, which is funny. So for the dude, it was just like, no, the dude behind the other person has to be in the bathroom because
dude has a style, man.
Because, for instance, when it does Nick Cage,
You went off the rails with this, huh?
Are you? Did it not make you laugh? Are you not entertained at Nick Cage?
Are you not
being
entertained?
Mizuzaki style.
It's kind of fat, Nick Cage, huh?
Well, it is current. Yeah, I mean, I think Rock is trying to do based on current year,
Okay.
which is he's got the beard, he's got the
And the
hair.
girl's even looking like, man, you put on some weight.
She'll still go
Yep.
see anything he's in.
Read by nature. Hail, welcome to the show. Nick Cage looks like a zookeeper. I think that's what Mizusaki's like. Maybe Grok just says, "What's the most likely role for Nick Cage in a Mizuzaki movie? Probably fantasy forest zookeeper."
Maybe he's a beekeeper.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
Nick Cage as the crikey guy.
Crikey.
Crikey. So
The crocodile hunter.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, I could see that. This is look, they were doing a movie version of Steve Irwin's life with Nick Cage playing the lead.
What was it called? Stung?
Oh, that got him.
Yeah, you're dealing with imp with a lack of sleep again this week, so have fun.
Well, it was just hurtful. I mean, it's not as bad as when South Park did it. Was
Now I'm really gonna piss him off. I'm gonna stick my thumb up his butthole.
no, it was no, when after he had died, right? They were doing Satan's Sweet 16 birthday party.
Yeah.
And they have Steve Irwin, and there's the friggin' stingray barb like through his chest. And Satan comes up to him and is like, "Oh no, you can't dress as man. It's too soon. It's too soon. You can't do that." And Steve Irwin's like, "No, I'm Steve Irwin.
It's me.
I died and went to hell." And he's like, "Well, you still can't do it. You got to get out." It's like, man. I had a friend who the year Christopher Reeve had his fall off the horse for Halloween, he got a wheelchair and wore a Superman suit,
Superman 5.
and it was like had another friend of mine wheel him around, and people it was probably the worst taste Halloween costume I've ever seen, and everybody wanted to not laugh but couldn't. They did laugh.
So kind of like most of us with what the hell is that? Those videos we watch on occasion.
Oh,
Tomorrow's
Chat-
teachings today.
No, chat music.
oh, the
Oh,
chat music.
Yeah.
Chat music.
Oh,
yeah.
chat music is so good. Slowlina Gomez, or I rate
Selena
you.
Slomez.
I rate you 47 out of 46. Still makes me laugh. I showed my wife that video, and she was like, "This isn't funny. This isn't funny," as she's trying not to just crack up watching it. I was like, I was like, "It's just me and you here. It's a safe place. You can laugh at this video." She's like, "No, it's wrong." And I was like, "No, just laugh. Just let it out."
If it's wrong, why does it feel so right?
I think Bride of Slender may have the same issue, right? Slender doesn't want to laugh, but kind of laughs.
She always talks about how mean they are, but she almost always laughs too. So
Yep, it's you're right. It's not funny. It's hilarious. I like it. Soul Assassin looks like he got in on the Mizuzaki slash Ghibli style. Anyway, all right. So I think we should start. I fulfilled my promise as we talked about weeks and weeks ago on Ascendant Art to drag Slender to see a working man when we watched that trailer, and I got a lot of flack that it looked generic and bad. And I said I thought it would be a very enjoyable movie and I would have a good time. And spoiler, it was enjoyable and I had a good time. So what did you think, Slender? I think you probably have more expressive thoughts on the movie.
I liked it, but I have a bias, and it's a 7. It tops. It's a 7 tops. I think they gave Jason Statham a lot more to work with this character. I think the character had a little bit more depth and was a little bit more, I guess, relatable. But other than his boss and his former military buddy, like no one in this movie could act. And I guess they didn't need to because I mean most of the other people in this movie are the villains and they don't last very long.
No,
But
they're
like even the girl he was trying to save, like she could not act. She sounded so terrible. And it did the same thing that every freaking Hollywood movie does that drives me up the wall. And it's like a grenade is not going to make a massive explosion that shakes the foundations of a building. It's a fucking grenade. That
Yeah.
pissed me off.
that is like, and what was great is he was throwing the tiniest little frag grenades, which should have
Yeah.
been like, yeah, and they were going off like they were giant blocks of C4 and dispersing. I think the first time he threw one where they focused on it, there was 5 guys in a hallway, and this little tiny frag grenade just like threw all of these guys 20, 30 feet from this grenade going off.
And then they swap the camera back up to the kidnappers who are like locked in a room upstairs, and they do the shaky cam thing, and they look like they're all like, "Oh my god, oh the whole building's shaking," and I'm like, "Fuck's sake, that is not how a grenade works."
Yeah, just let's add a visual element here because it's give us something to work with. Yeah, it was nice. It was funny that like, hey, he's a construction worker who spent 20 plus years in the SAS and was special forces, of course, before he became a construction worker. So he's like it's basically Taken. If you've seen, it's Beekeeper plus Taken equals a working man. I think this was based on a graphic novel by Chuck Dixon, who Imp will actually be able to opine on probably more than the other members of the panel here.
I am familiar with his work, but I'm not overly familiar.
He's a fairly well-known comic book writer, most famous for co-creating Bane and doing the Nightfall storyline.
He was actually on with Tom earlier today.
Yeah, I think it was because a Working Man's coming out and he's the writer on it. So, it's nice that, as Slender said, like after the movie was done, Slender specifically actually pointed out it was better, like it was a better written character than Statham usually gets. Yes. And he was really well in it. And that's when I came to a realization. It was actually a book, not a comic. Oh, good. Jason Statham is basically like Bruce Willis from the late 80s through the 90s. When he gets a really well-written character and script, he's really good. But he also takes any job he gets offered. So he does a lot of shit with really bad scripts, and he is really bad. Like if you go back, Jason Statham in the Guy Ritchie movies was great.
Yeah,
he had good and Snatch.
Yep.
When he gets well-written material, I would even say the first Meg movie, which was based on a book, so they had some material to work with, gave him a decent character where he came off pretty decent.
The second one,
as an actor,
the
second one, it was fuck. This was successful.
A Statham movie.
there's no source material. They were basically like the Game of Thrones guys. They were like, "What do we do? How about he fights a giant octopus? Oh, that sounds awesome. What if we get little dinosaurs too? That sounds kick ass. Let's have little dinosaurs." Like,
and let's not have Statham be a diver at all. Let's just have him be a badass that goes around and kills everything.
Yeah, it's like. It was great. How about we have him free dive in the middle of the like Marianas Trench or whatever it is, where it's miles down? It makes perfect sense that he wouldn't just implode and die. Yeah, that works. If he just if he manages to exhale all the oxygen in his body, he will be fine going free diving at that depth. Whatever. Sorry.
I thought he had to hold all the oxygen in his body.
No, I think he had to exhale it all so that there was nothing. There was no. I don't know. The Meg 2 was
his body.
It was so stupid that I couldn't even remember which version or it went that it would, because either way it would make no sense at that level. I thought, to me, like the science of it would make more sense if he was completely oxygen free and wasn't under pressure in his own body. But I don't know. It's still, my thought is he would immediately die at that level of pressure, that level of sea. I mean, Slender, being a Navy guy, do submarines, which are giant pieces of metal, do they sound like they're not having pressure exerted on them when they're at much lower depth than what he was supposed to be?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't sub Navy.
No.
I mean, they do fine as long as they're not controlled by a Logitech controller.
Usually, yeah.
That explains Slender's gaming skills.
How dare you? It's not my fault you can't shoot.
I can shoot fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Missing left and right.
Hey, he'd be like that sub that went to see the Titanic. Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
It's not too soon. They fucking that's their own damn fault.
Yeah,
I don't know why they thought that was a good fucking idea.
If you die in a stupid way,
Eric,
there is no such thing as too soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have more
You
fun.
get a
with
Darwin Award, and we make jokes.
All right, so Working Man, very good. If you like Jason Statham action movies, you're gonna like this one because it's on the upper echelon where he's actually pretty well written as a character. So him on screen, which is most of the movie, he's on screen. If the movie's 120 minutes, which is 2 hours, I think it was a little less than that, he's on screen for 111. Like, there's about 9 minutes where it's cutaways throughout the course of the movie where he's not on screen. So he's got to carry it, and he does, because he's pretty good. They give him a natural conflict that makes him a little hesitant to get involved at first. It is Slender and I did both agree that the way they keep the girl unsullied and alive through the course of the movie starts to strain.
Oh my god, yeah. Her plot armor was indestructible.
Yeah, but if you're giving it a 7, that's still better than about 90% of what we've been getting over
No,
the past
I know,
couple
but
years.
what's funny, but not all 7s are equal, right? There's 7s where, like, oh yeah, it was well shot and these other things, but it's just not a great movie. This is a 7 where there's improvements to make, but I overall enjoyed my movie experience. I think, like Slender said, if they had taken the Eastern European mobsters from John Wick 1 and put those actors into this movie, it probably would have been an 8.5, 9.
Yeah, and let's be honest, they just went overboard with the Russian mob in this, because like one of the big bads, he has a cane with a skull on top of it that it looks like he ordered off of Temu.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we're kind of being really on the nose with this character, aren't we?
Yeah. Read by nature over here. If you want to laugh, look up Statham's old Kit Kat ads. I remember those. My favorite one was salmon swimming upstream, like just footage of it, and it cuts to like Jason Statham just being himself, being like, salmon swim upstream, never resting until they get to where they do and they die. You are not a salmon. Take a break. Have a Kit Kat. It's like, it's so intense. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have a Kit Kat. That's fine.
I don't remember those.
Oh, they were in England.
Oh, okay.
I saw it when I was in England, but they're on YouTube now. I'll find one and we'll look at it because they are hilarious. Because funny, yeah, like he was like, they found him on the street, like he was just a dude like selling watches, like on the street as like kind of a hustler, and that was his big break to be an actor because he just had the right look. It was funny. I think it was after Lock, Stock, though. Maybe not. Here we go. This is all right. One of his Kit Kat commercials.
The salmon.
This is, yeah.
The salmon spends its life relentlessly striving to get upstream. With ceaseless endeavor, it fights the currents of massive rivers, drags itself over rocks in shallow water, forces its way up huge waterfalls, never stops, never rests, just battles and battles its way upstream. Finally, Heroically, it reaches its goal, and it's absolutely knackered. It dies. Remember, you are not a Sabbath.
It's intense.
But do they spend their whole life? I thought it was just when they were going back to mate.
It is. It's just the end of their lives. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they die.
Yeah, I'm just taking issue with him saying that they spend their whole lives trying to get upstream. They start upstream, they go downstream, they live a life, they go back, they mate, they die.
Yeah. He has bald stubble. That was before he committed to just being bald. No, but I don't know if I'll knock him for not being like scientifically accurate in a Kit Kat commercial.
I'm just
So,
being a dick.
yeah.
Remember,
I'm
this
sure
is
it's a
Brahma.
Kit
He
Kat
doesn't know
commercial.
what the word fun means.
So
Davina. His delivery as well as his dome have become more polished over the years.
let's see. What do we got with this one? We got another one we can do.
Another
So these
part.
were from 2003, so it would have been after Lock, Stock. All right.
The greyhound runs at 40 miles an hour and lives for 12 years. The pronghorn antelope runs at 60 miles an hour but lives for a mere 11 years. The cheetah, fastest animal on earth, lives just 10 years. Now consider the giant tortoise. He toddles along a bit. He has a little break, walks a bit more. He has another little break. He travels at approximately 0 miles an hour, but lives for 200 years.
Have lots of little breaks with new Kit Kat cubes.
I mean,
Goofy.
I'm gonna have
It
to tell
does-
Bride that's why I never do anything. It's like, listen, if I do stuff, I'll die. If I don't do anything, I'll live forever.
My laziness offsets my drinking and smoking.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest though. Josh Hammond's right. I do want a Kit Kat now. These are highly effective ad campaigns. Funny thing, Kit Kats are made by Nestle across the rest of the world, but not in the US, which is interesting. For some
Who is
reason
it here? Hershey's?
I think it's Hershey's in the US.
Hmm.
Because Nestle is like
Maybe
the
they're trying to get
number-
around tariffs.
Probably. So they licensed Kit Kat out to Nestle and the rest of the world. Or Kit Kat licenses, or Nestle licensing Kit. I can't keep track, but it's interesting. But yeah, so Jason Statham, pretty solid. If you liked his movies, if you liked Beekeeper especially, there's the action sequences in this one are actually pretty well done and satisfying. Like it's David Ayer, who's the guy who did Beekeeper, the director, did this one too. So and I was told Slender this, and I think we both kind of agreed on it. David Ayer does a thing where in the movie, every bad guy gets their comeuppance. There's no one who gets left behind. And it's very satisfying. If you're watching a revenge kind of movie like Taken or something like that, you don't want anybody to get away. So that's a nice thing to do, to make sure everybody, and they escalate it. Like they make a point in the movie where Jason Statham, when he's fighting certain people where it's personal, is very aggressive with how he shuffles them off the mortal coil versus some of the other scenes where he's more just matter of fact about it. And it just works. It makes you want to do that.
They had some pretty creative ones in Beekeeper too.
Nothing tops the Beekeeper where he was fighting the chick beekeeper replacement and he just lit her on fire with honey. It was the basic, like the biggest FU to like the girl boss trope Like, oh, look, we've replaced you with this new one. Look, she even has a 50 cal mounted on the back of her truck. She's a badass. And he just like nuked her.
I don't know, dude. When he was dragging that one guy's face across the tiles, I was feeling pretty happy about it.
Yeah, and then he does the full American History X on it too. So.
Yeah, with his elbow.
The curb stomp.
Yeah, but he does it with his elbow. Like he elbow drops the side of the guy's head. But it's still not the best one. The best one was a pretty straightforward kill where he just asked the guy, he's like, "Do you have a daughter?" And the guy's like, "No." And he's like, "Then you wouldn't understand." And then he kills the guy. Like,
Yeah,
I like that.
Because the human traffickers like, why is this such a big deal that we kidnapped this girl and sold her? It doesn't seem like a big deal. You're making it a big deal. It shouldn't.
I look forward to going and seeing it.
Stallone was definitely on board because he was in the credits. I think he was a producer.
Yeah, I think Stallone's worked with Chuck Dixon too previously. Like I think they did an Expendables comic book. The Expendables Go to Hell or something like that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Chuck Dixon co-wrote that.
Yeah, I don't think Stallone was on for script touch-up. And if he was, they should have done some more touch-ups. Because, like, another great example is when he first goes to meet his buddy, his old war buddy, who's blind. Like, we can see the guy's blind, and yet then they have to have a conversation about how he's like, well, I wasn't able to save your eyes, and I still feel really bad about that. And it's like, fuck's sake. Like, I get that you don't have a whole lot of options and this conversation has to happen so that we can get the exposition or whatever. But like, you just straight told and didn't show. Like you could have just had like see some pictures of them back in their war days together or something. Well, never mentioned that he saved his eye or that he saved him, but he lost his eyes at the same time.
They did a really interesting credit sequence where they were it's almost like an animated Bond style one where they're showing his life as a soldier.
Yeah.
And they show him saving him and then they wrap up his eyes specifically as being hurt. So
I guess someone else
opening
pull a
credits.
Halo switch.
So like we didn't even need those lines and they were so stiff when they delivered them because it's just like no war buddies have this conversation while they're drinking whiskey out by the fire.
Yeah.
Like they just don't.
So Davina's I'm looking forward to Nobody 2. I really liked Nobody. That movie was great.
Yeah, I thought it was really good too.
There's a really fun genre where it's the
you saw a trailer for that last night, right?
No, we saw a trailer for a different one that was like Nobody, but wasn't. It was like there's this whole new subgenre where it's guys.
It looks cool. I saw one that I wanted to see.
Where it's guys who you don't think are badass who turn out to be like the person you shouldn't mess with. And Nobody was.
Which just watched another one of those. Novocaine. It was all right.
I reviewed it. It was like
it was
adequate.
All right.
Yeah. I
There's
think
some interesting things just because of the the power that he has.
Now that you've seen it, I think you'll probably agree. The one thing that was completely out of place was the like Wile E. Coyote trap house. Just seemed like it was just like, okay, how can we get him in the most crazy situations with his
the prepper's house?
Yeah.
Well, it's that, and it's when he's in that house after the first thing that hits him. Knowing that the rest of the house might be booby-trapped too, he still has no fear of anything actually killing him. Just because you have no pain doesn't mean that you wouldn't have a fear of actually dying.
Exactly.
Right?
And some of those things should have been just because you have no pain, the consequences to your body should have been dramatic and like really instantaneous. Like especially the arrow through basically what looked almost to the femoral artery.
Yeah. There were a few things, but yeah, I mean that same type of genre. The revenge movies.
Yeah, but I want like in Novocaine, he couldn't feel pain, but he wasn't actually skilled. So I like it when there's somebody who He like that was the great thing about Nobody. He was living like an accountant little life,
Right.
had the family, had his kids, but he
Oh,
was
that's what we saw. The
the accountant
Accountant
too.
2.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
I really like the accountant. That was such a pleasant surprise. Oh look, Sherry's joined the chat. Hey Sherry, thanks for coming.
I don't know that we needed an accountant too, but hopefully
I
we
don't
do.
know that I don't want it though. I feel like I could enjoy it. Ben Affleck needs a W.
Here's
Sad
the
as
thing
fuck.
about action movies, right? You never need them. Like,
Yeah, we do.
these aren't going to change my life, but unless it's, Die Hard. Lethal Weapon.
Well,
All
that's
right,
not an action movie. That's a Christmas movie.
as a transition,
Christmas action.
as a transition for Brahma, I'm gonna just show you an ad that Sydney Sweeney did on her social media, and I'm gonna see if you
Oh,
think it
no.
would motivate you to purchase said product.
Her new bra and panties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should. I should. All right. So this is Sydney Sweeney just doing her ad.
I'd buy those.
Hey guys, so I just got some new
Already did.
Savage Vintage for July, and I wanted to share some of the really cool new products. I'm already wearing one of my favorites. It's their floral lace unlined bra in pink ombre, and it has matching underwear. I always love a good set. Hey guys, so I
We all love a good set.
Do you think she ad
Although
libbed
that bra
or they
does
told
not
her?
seem properly fitted.
No.
Do I think she ad libbed it? No.
the loving a good set? I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good line. It's not a bad line. So that one, and I gotta say, my my X feed was dominated by social like trad social influencers getting that milkmaid dress.
You should
Somebody-
get rid of your stupid thumbnail and make that the thumbnail. We'll get so many views.
I do like that half the time when we're talking about something and when we moved on, Chad will leave up a movie poster for 45 minutes, even though we've stopped talking about it. But you bring on her and her bra, and you immediately remove it as soon as we're done watching it.
I'm going to defer to Bad Take Bojan as being more expert than we are.
That's what I'm
Saying
saying. It's
at least one cup size too small.
She was
She's
pouring out over the
overflowing.
top of that thing.
yeah. That's why I'm saying it's not fit correctly.
But does that mean that, I mean, here's the question. If you're the manufacturer and you're paying her as a spokesman, would you not send one that's one cup size too small on purpose to get the attention?
And if you had the bigger cup, it's still going to get everybody's attention. Plus, it might show the ladies that the bras actually fit correctly.
Yeah.
My dogs are going nuts.
All right, we're bringing it back on screen because we're debating this issue. So I feel like this is better
Well, you
for
should pause
sales.
it at the scene where it's like from underneath, where you can actually see the overflow.
I don't know. I'm worried. I feel like she's
Coming
about
up
to have a
right there.
wardrobe malfunction. That's. And
See
it
how
doesn't
much
even
it's
look
going
like
over the lip?
Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's too small. It looks like she's wearing it too low.
Yeah, here's Eric. Maybe Sydney likes to wear them one size too small to accentuate the cleavage.
That is a possibility.
Because Josh is saying that bra made Sydney Sweeney boobs look nice and tight. Brahma's right. Depends on who you want to get attention. That bra looks uncomfortable to me. If you're getting Sydney Sweeney to be the spokesperson, it's so men will buy it for their female companions. It's not for if Sydney Sweeney, I'm going to be honest, probably doesn't speak to women the same way she speaks to men.
I mean,
while wearing
about a
underwear.
month and a half late for the timing on this. Like, you should have started advertising this at the end of January, beginning of February.
For Mardi Gras? What are you talking about?
Martin,
For Valentine's.
Oh,
What's wrong with
Valentine's
you?
Day. I was trying to think of
Mardi Gras.
I've been married 19 plus years. Valentine's Day is not like a major occasion.
It's a nothing day.
It's always a nothing day, but
Like
Yeah.
it should literally be. There should not be any lingerie, just nothing.
Okay.
It's a
See,
push
now
up.
you've got me going down a rabbit hole, and I'm watching all these random Jason Statham commercials. He did a lot of commercials.
It's Bad Take Motion's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Here are some
Aw.
tits on the screen for you.
Oh no, Eric, did Michigan State lose? God damn it. I had them in my bracket too, and I'm gonna lose money. They were my like contender. I still have Texas Tech, but Texas Tech is kind of an outside shot. No, Michigan State won 73-70. God damn it, you got me all worried.
Valentine's Day is Tina's birthday.
Oh,
so you mean
today.
I'm pouring out this drink to cheers for your birthday, and it's not your birthday?
No spoilers. Michigan State won. Yay. They're into the Elite Eight. I'm going to right into my bracket now because that's points. Bam, bam, bam. Look, it's $100 buy-in for the tournament bracket I'm doing. So pardon me for being excited that my number one pick is moving on. I know we don't talk about sports ball too much, but this is like a $700 pot. Well, because it's $800 for the winner, but that's less my buy-in.
I'm having a hard time concentrating on anything you're saying right now, Chad. What are we talking about?
And Josh, I am right. Sydney Sweeney's eyes are weird.
Here we go.
She has a cute face, but she is not traditionally hot.
This is a good example of the eyes. Like, if you can focus, all right, so here's the thing. Take your hand and put it to cover up the part that's distracting you.
They're uneven.
And then look at the eyes, and they're not like quite, chat music eyes, but they're moving more towards it than not. So, I mean, would I have a problem with Sydney Sweeney were I a single man? No, I would not.
She has a cute face. She's just not like hot in the face region.
Josh Hammond says the eyes are fine, Brahma. I've never even looked at them. I see. My thing is
her stare always looks blank to me.
I think the calling movie for Sydney Sweeney is the Britney Spears story, because Britney Spears also still has kind of the weird eyes. So I think,
but Britney never had Sydney's body.
Britney had large. Well,
not like that.
Well, I mean, you can use special effects to like.
We're not taking them away.
And fine, like, it's going to be a problem if they're bigger than in the biopic. It's just going to get more people in the door.
Problem is, we've now all seen Britney dancing around in her underwear with knives and stuff, so everybody knows exactly what she's got. And it ain't nowhere near that.
Still better than Selena Gomez. Yes.
Yes.
So that is I think that covers that debate. We are all fans of Sydney Sweeney. I think Imp, even you, right, are a somewhat decent fan of Sydney Sweeney.
Sure, just not her acting.
I didn't say it. No, nobody.
I don't
here
think anybody's been talking about her acting tonight.
She's
all right. Hey, and I have the best. I have the great transition video for Slender to move into the discussion of Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft. So just keep your eyes on the video. I'm gonna turn it down since it's body cam. Like, just look. You got this coming. Keep your eyes to the right of the video.
The perfect ramp.
Previous 1050, 84 way.
I think that was totally intentional. I think that guy was just like, I gotta try it.
Going. You think he really saw it and was like, "Duke's a hazard. I'm going for it."
I'm going out.
Where does this off ramp go?
It does
I
look
hate
like
myself if I didn't do this.
It does look like he's sped up. See?
That definitely wasn't tires squealing from brakes.
I just love the cop too. God damn. Did he manage to hit the other car too?
I don't know, but
I feel like
must have
that's
hit it at
extra
an angle to
points
do a
when you're
barrel
up at
roll.
the pearly gates.
All right, because maybe it's just
The other
forced
car looks like it's
perspective.
going fast enough.
And
to
it's
get by
on,
him.
you know, it's just he was all like from the force perspective, it looks like it's right on line to do it. Here we go, yeah. Them Duke boys in trouble. Yeah, if you do that, you got to yell the hazard counter or something. I saw this video and I was like, oh, this is perfect for Ubisoft because they sped into that ramp. And they probably thought for a second they were going to make it.
You know, as much as I agree with Slender on the whole game studios closing and such, I don't like the fact that he's right.
But I am right.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, I didn't realize how quickly it was all gonna go to shit, but I mean, they were definitely on my top 5 to go out soon.
Just a couple of good old boys, never meaning no harm.
Just some good old boys.
I'm still just like you can't pass it up, right? Like you've got to try.
Look, I know personally, I've seen it and I've thought it. Like, you know, it probably could work. I would never do it.
Wait, you gotta pull out. I gotta see this Studio Ghibli Brahma Bowl over here.
This is awesome.
Oh, I sent Chad the full version because it actually does to me what it does to the Big Lebowski.
Nice.
Like somebody did all of these as memes of all the comics division guys. Mine is the only one that actually has my background got converted as well. Everybody else is at generic desk. But in Twitter, I sent you the full file.
Yeah, I'm loading it up now.
But I'll be right back.
That's moderately creepy in a number of ways.
He looks very young.
It even has
it's
the
got
Avs
my
logo.
Avalanche stuff. It's got a bottle of Weller in the back. It's got the meetup posters. And even my mic coming in from the side.
Now, Brahma, don't take this the wrong way. This picture kind of looks like somebody who's going to send a message to a 13-year-old about wanting to meet up. Like, hey, how are you? I'm not a creepy old dude at all. With my
Why don't you have your beard?
Yeah,
I
why?
don't know. That's the only thing that kind of got really wrong.
Like you,
but
you
it did get the smoking jacket.
You look like Krillin in a smoking jacket.
Oh, here you go. No, Justin, Brahma Bull is an airbender. Paint the arrow on his head. It is. It's Aang from The Last Airbender. You're one drunk man. You're Saitama. Man, one Punch Man first season was awesome. Second season sucked. But it was the anime and not the plot, it was the animation just got so downgraded. It was ridiculous. But anyway.
I'll send you the thread and you can
go with they did. Oh wait, I see. I'm in the thread because the link brought you there. So okay, we can just go from that thread
because nobody else got a background like mine. Everybody else is just generic background.
Well, you know, for culture they got it right because he does use the green screen, so he'll be whatever background. Now that is a 100% AI hand. Let's count the fingers. 1, 2,
there are
3,
6 of them.
4, 5, 6. 6 fingers holding the
One
microphone.
could just be a growth off of his finger.
That's
I've never inspected Culture's hands enough to know if he's got a wart that big.
Oh, wait. No, I'm not talking about... and then it did it on the other end, because that is like a wart. Look at the other thumb, wart, finger.
It just can't handle the way he usually holds his hands in videos.
No, his left hand has a micro finger. Which is...
Yeah.
Culture Casino looks like he's talking about Man Bear Pig. Yeah.
That's all right. I got him good the other day. He said something about, oh, that doesn't look like me or sound like me. I'm like, no, you're right. You're not eating.
That's true. There's with the previous Brahma Bowl one. This one is Nick Weiser look okay. I take it back. Nick Weiser looks like the person who's gonna go.
Yeah.
Why
Like
did
he
they
would
give
have a
him?
van.
They took
Why'd
like
they give him a floral background? Who knows?
floral background.
Maybe it's the bedspread of the day bed he's been doing the show from lately.
What is the lettering on and the picture on comics T-shirt is creepy as and look, the face starts melting and the studio. I guess that's supposed to maybe do Studio Ghibli, but it just went weird. Yeah, Brahma looks like a kid wearing his dad's suit. Oh, no. No.
70s.
I mean, they're giving
I
everybody the
guess it
floral
gave
background.
bookcases.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is supposed to be Ghibli. No. I mean,
You know
I
what
guess they're working with an avatar, so it's hard for that one.
Yeah. You know what I think it might be is I'm the only person who has an absolutely full background while most people have some empty space behind them.
Southern Belle. It's
Southern
just
Belle,
a flower
yeah.
and a plant. So that actually, in terms of accuracy to the image, this is probably the closest to what's presented. Why does Nick Weiser look like Phil Anselmo from Pantera's early years? Probably.
So go back to
Comics
mine
should
real
be
quick,
shorter.
and I'll zoom out, and you can look at how much of the detail behind me it actually did get.
I would be
Because it's
happy
got the
that
two
it-
poster things. It's got the Avalanche banner that is actually just a little bit off screen now. And then it's got the liquor. The only thing is, it doesn't have the full bar behind me. It's like going to the other corner instead of the typical straight up that I show. So I thought it did a weirdly good job on mine, as far as the back. The Weller
No,
almost
actually,
looks like a real bottle, even.
I would say yours is probably the best, especially since it doesn't have that weird like floral background.
Yeah.
Which that's the thing that kind of freaked me out. So,
but lots of people have been having fun with this AI.
The Ghibli things there.
Everybody,
yeah, I mean,
but the guy who actually does the Studio Ghibli.
Well, no,
He doesn't even
Mizuzaki
like
is-
anime though. He's just
No,
a big crank.
Mizuzaki, he also doesn't like he didn't like CG like animation. Like even if it wasn't hand drawn, he was very opposed to it because, and this is a very Japanese thing. You know, like they get very philosophical about stuff, and he's like, the creator is not infusing life into it if they're not drawing it with their own hands. So he didn't like when it went to CG stuff.
Evening,
Right.
Hey, 70s. We saw
Now that
your.
we showed those, I'll be right back, like I was saying before.
We
what?
showed your Ghibli.
Oh, my Ghibli, yes. That's what it's. At first, I thought it was giblets, but that's something you get out of the chicken when you're taking all the things out of it. Ghibli, Studio Ghibli, yes.
All right, so I'm going to show one that was actually one of my favorites, and we'll see if you guys. They did the Joe Rogan.
Oh, that's a good
with
one. Yeah.
Donald Trump. Did you see this one, Slender?
That one's pretty good.
No, but what's even better is the tweet that goes along with it. It's like, so wait, there's people just turning everything into cartoons. Everything, Joe, everything. It's unbelievable. They're calling it Ghiblified. I didn't make that word up. It's all soft lighting and pastels, and I like it, okay? I like it a lot. But they're doing it to everything. War footage, Biden falling off bikes, Cybertruck burning in front of my tower, Ghibli, all of it. It's just, I could just like see that coming out of them.
How did this whole thing get started? Where did it all start from?
I don't know, but this is
It's amazing. They just went. They just went there.
Yeah, it started, and because it is nice because it is giving people a lot of exposure to like the ability of AI to do basic art concepts.
Yeah.
Now, this was interesting. This one, and this is actually one of the more interesting ones that I've saw. Somebody went through and using AI and animation tools redid the original like trailer for Fellowship of the Rings as Ghibli.
Oh
Imp,
wow!
Imp or Slender? Did you guys already see this one?
Yeah, I saw it.
I didn't. I didn't see it.
Here.
Has changed, and some things that should not have been forgotten were lost. But the Ring of Power has a will of its own.
Evil is stirring in Mordor. The ring has awoken. Sauron needs only this ring to cover all the lands of darkness. What must I do?
The ring must be destroyed.
Cast back into the fires of Mount Doom. I know what hunts you. They're coming. They will find the ring and kill the one who carries it.
Now I will say, just real quick, the reason the audio is off is the dude who did this did a thread where he explained how he made this. And so what he did is he took every individual shot in the trailer and used his AI tools to Ghiblify those shots. And then he used another animation, another AI animation tool to animate it. And it didn't, it doesn't actually do dialogue, right? So he had to animate in just rough mouth movements.
Yeah.
So he was like, I did it in one night for like 250 AI credits. So he's like, I didn't have time to like voice match everything. So what he said is when he was doing the animation prompt, he just told the animation like what the dialogue was. So he would say like the man says this line. And so it just automatically animated the mouth movements for the line. But it's not exactly cued to it. So that's
for one to do in one evening, though.
Yeah, and that's
I have to agree with Eric in the chat. It does look better than that last Lord of the Rings animated thing that they put out, War of the Rohirrim. The War of the. Yeah.
What do you think, Slender? Would you rather see this one or the War of the Rohirrim that we went and saw?
It's got to be this one. War of the Rohirrim was really bad.
Can we Ghibli the Ghiblies? Can Ghibli be Ghiblied?
Yeah, they did Ghibli Mizuzaki. So it was...
You have my sword.
My bow.
That looks great.
Axe. You carry the fate of us all, little one.
This task was appointed to you.
There's only one problem. Sean Bean's still alive.
He won't be by the end.
They won't be by the end of the trailer. This looks great.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Actually, yeah, like Ghibli would lend itself really well to Lord of the Rings.
It does.
Shall not pass!
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch this.
Oh God, yeah.
All right,
Have they done Ghibli porn? Has anyone done any Ghibli porn?
I found the first big flaw. Look, it looks like they gave her regular ears instead of elf ears. So
yeah, it's a failure on their part.
I mean, and Slender is nothing.
It might be a little pointed. I can't tell because it's too small. Let me.
Yeah, and Slender is nothing if not an elf girl connoisseur. So he.
Yeah,
he
I mean,
ears.
it's not making me horny, so they must not be elf ears.
Maybe they've made her breast pointed.
Have you been watching an Elf in Tokyo, the Elf Girl in Tokyo anime? Or
no, they haven't dubbed it yet.
Oh, I was like, this is so up Slender's alley. It's like a.
It's on my radar.
Even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
She's got elf ears.
Yeah, so they did much better with Galadriel. This right here is 100% better Galadriel than Amazon has put on screen.
Oh God, yeah.
Multiple seasons. It was animated with AI tools.
Fucking ruined Galadriel. She was so awesome, and they were just like, let's just fucking destroy the character.
Oh shit! Tom Bombadil has made his appearance. Imagine animating the missing Tom Bombadil.
The future. I'm glad you're with me.
Yay!
That's pretty damn good.
I
mean,
want this
I'd
dude
watch it.
to. I want
I
this
would
dude
watch this.
to animate the prologue sequence and see what that would look like in Ghibli. 'Cause it would be fucking kick ass. All right, and this one is a little more political, but it fits the Lord of the Rings thing, and I just thought the meme was hilarious.
I get that reference.
I get that reference. All right, Slender, do we have a all right, you sent me the screen. Let me open that screenshot. Because you've been
You
tracking
talking about the charts? The charts are even worse now, man.
Oh, they the newer ones. Do you have the links for it or you
Hold on, I'll share it. Because I'm just gonna put the link in the private chat since I don't have a whole lot of permissions in Mad's studio.
You're so bitter you can't just end the stream when you feel
I'm
like
so fucking bitter.
The Atlantic was invited to the group chat. Yes, we know. By a wolf in sheep's clothing that's trying to get Hegseth out for Tom Cotton. But we'll talk about that Sunday on the bullpen.
Yep. Because sometimes you save somebody in your phone and with a different name on their number, but don't know who it is, and then you just add them to group chats.
I know if you're the national security advisor and you're having a gay relationship with a reporter, you got to make sure you save it with the right name. Allegedly. All right, here we go. So we've got the link. We're opening. So this is the Steam database info for Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is not a chart that you would want to see if you were Ubisoft.
No.
This
Now,
is one weekend.
To give you a little context, we're coming into second weekend, right? Opening weekend, they got as high as 64,825. That is less than Dragon Age Veilguard.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here in the middle of Friday night, and I mean, I don't think they're gonna clear 40,000 this weekend.
Yeah, if that was an electrocardiogram, you'd be getting the electric paddles warmed up, ready to restart that.
Dude, these fuckers are about to flatline. It's
But 3 million
well,
views,
and
3
here's
million
the
players,
interesting
Slender.
thing.
3 million players.
Well, and here's the interesting thing. I thought about that because me and Chad were talking about the weasel words. They keep using this. And I realized something. 3 million players is probably accurate because they're probably counting everyone who has a Uplay account.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Oh, you know
yes.
they are.
They'll be counting any impression they can get from anything. It's like Amazon Prime when you go in and you hover over a movie and it starts to show the trailer in the background. They'll be counting anything like that as a view or play.
And everybody who has a Uplay account right now too may very well have activated it to try this game out and will be deactivating it the day after and just playing it for the month.
But the thing is, none of that actually creates any money, and the fact that they're going under because they've spent that much money, just saying that you've got numbers is not going to fix any portion of this. So,
and Soul,
kind of pointless.
Well, they're trying to get more people to think, oh, it is a good game and buy it. But Soul is kind of on track here with Tencent going to buy Ubisoft, except
yeah,
they already did.
They did, in effect.
Chad,
they didn't buy Ubisoft. They bought their 4 top selling franchises.
Chad, you want to know? Only 3.
Oh, was it 3?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it was 4.
Let me pull that one up. So I'll get that because
by giving them money that Ubisoft have already spent and are in debt for already. So they gave them $1 billion, but that money was gone long ago. So that's money just going down the drain. Tencent are getting a bargain basement scrap deal by here.
Yeah, as we're
there's no way that game makes a profit. That game is going to be a loss.
No, I mean, considering the fact that it's been out a week, and they've already sent out the corporate speak. You're getting laid off memo.
Yeah,
so we just don't know when.
And when you say you've got 3 million players, it's like, okay, players doesn't equal copies sold. Copies sold makes a lot more money than players, and
And
I
when
mean, I
your
said it before
Ubisoft
this thing
Plus
even went
is
live. I don't see this thing clearing 5 million by the year.
No.
especially when you've got it on your subscription service for $18 a month, you could get and play the
You
game
spend
in 1
18
month and be
bucks.
done.
Yes.
And that is
Yes.
what I think a lot of people decided to do because they're like,
And
I'm
I
not
can
paying
answer that big
$100
head's
for your
question
shit
really,
fucking game.
or question at the end real easy. No word yet what this means for Ubisoft franchises or the company's approximately 19,000 employees. Yeah, I got an answer. Nothing in unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So here's what they're doing. So Ubisoft, and this is at the direction of Tencent, 100%. So Tencent already owned a chunk of Ubisoft proper, and Tencent is own. I mean, any Chinese company is run by the CCP. Whatever.
Yep. They
You don't
have to
need to
by
get into
law
that. Yeah.
have a
So-
CCP involvement.
Yep.
Yep.
We know this.
So these are all established facts. So Tencent now owning a chunk of Ubisoft basically says you're going under, and here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna take. They're sending all of their IPs that actually have value, and as much as we think and we have been shitting on Assassin's Creed Shadow, a good Assassin's Creed game can still make big money if done well. Because it's still got name cachet, right? Assassin's Creed still has value. Like if they went back and remastered the Ezio trilogy and put it out for the next generation consoles, if they haven't already, it'll make money.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're going to do in this new subsidiary. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're spinning off, and so like the ones that are named here,
I mean,
Assassin's Creed
that's the only thing that's been keeping Square Enix alive for a decade now.
is remastering the
Yes,
Final Fantasy.
remastering their good titles.
Yep. So they're doing Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, which are basically the valuable franchise Ubisoft has. You could argue that they still have things like Watch Dogs, but they drove that into the ground before it really became a valuable franchise. They've done some licensed games for South Park that have been really well received and sold well, but they don't actually own the rights to that. That's still South Park that owns the rights, and they make those agreements on a per game basis. So that would be Stick of Truth, The Fractured Butthole. That can't let title still makes me laugh. and I think they did a third one where it was like Snow Day or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a full-on RPG like the first two. It was a multiplayer-only game.
Yeah, what's funny is those first two were really actually solid RPG games, like turn-based combat, RPG leveling, crafting system. It was a real
And kept the South Park humor fully intact.
Yep. Like when I found in the second game, when I had to do the boss battle against Jared from Subway and they kept alluding to what Jared was trying to do with the kids, I was like, yep, they're not pulling any punches. So so they're spinning off this to a new company that is a joint venture, meaning 50-50 at least, where all the franchises are now housed there, and they're leaving all the debt on the main Ubisoft. So that I think Slender's prediction comes true. Like he said, they're just Slender. What's your favorite slogan about speed run? They are speed running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Tencent went into the Tencent went into the Ubisoft corporate offices, says we're taking this and you can speed run into bankruptcy because we don't give a shit anymore.
Getting rid of all the dead weight that made the crappy games that they made recently.
Oh, Josh Hammond, Ubisoft did make the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection. I have said collection for PS4.
But I'm willing to bet they'd remaster their remasters again. It's happened, but other studios have done it.
It's just, this is Ubisoft was one of the big, I mean, I would say they were part of, there's the big three, at least around 2010. You could say the big three were Activision, EA, and Ubisoft. Right? Those were the three like mega studios for video games. I mean, Rockstar made huge games, but they only ever made one game at a time, and they're basically were just the Grand Theft Auto. So, so it's not really. I wouldn't count them.
Oh, Davina, the Tom Clancy brand actually is a pretty heavy hitter, especially Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege was fucking huge. The problem Rainbow Six Siege ran into was they started trying to monetize the ever-loving shit out of it, and I think they alienated a lot of their hardcore player base.
Here's a question I'd have to check: if Rainbow Six. They said mention Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I wonder if the Division was also included in the package because that one has some value too. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I mean, they're saying Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, but the Division was a Tom Clancy, spin-off game.
Yeah, but the second one didn't do as well as the first did.
It still had, well, I guess they did run into the fact that like the survival shooter kind of genre had blown up by then there was a lot more competition.
Yeah, and I think it's just the Rainbow Six franchises, like, because didn't Ubisoft do Ghost Recon as well? Yep, they did Ghost Recon. So
I mean
anything Tom Clancy related, they made.
Yeah, so they're gonna lose a lot of it because I think Ubisoft proper is gonna file for bankruptcy and have to sell a lot of this shit off.
Well, bear in mind this is again just a tweet, so this person doing this might just say Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six franchises.
You think it might just be all of the Tom Clancy franchises?
That might mean the Tom Clancy like that. The way it deal like the original deal might be like Rainbow Six and all of the Clancy family of games fall under that franchise agreement. So I think those all have value. So Tencent will 100% take them. This is the CCP does not just.
I never thought the Splinter Cell games were that good anyway.
They weren't.
I actually preferred Siphon Filter.
I have a lot of nostalgia for those early Splinter Cell games because I did like them.
Yeah, but in Siphon Filter, I could hit a guy with a taser and just hold it until he caught fire.
True, but Splinter Cell was the one that got me into 5.7, and I find that to be a very effective carry round. So I enjoy it. Nostalgia. And the prices of 5.7 is coming down. Not for you, 70s. You're not allowed to have fun things like that in Canadian.
Well, we will have nothing soon. Not even rags to wear. It's just hell.
You'll have nothing, and you'll like it because you'll vote
like
for
it. Exactly.
I know.
I won't vote for it. Somebody asked me the other day because I live in Alberta if I was okay with Alberta becoming independent to start with. I said, hell yes. In fact, I even want my county I live in to be independent. Never mind the province. I'll go right down to county level.
Yeah, we're going to have a new Articles of Confederation for the counties.
Yeah, my county is based as hell. I want that to be independent. Its own country.
They were technically good for stealth, bad for bosses, never got invested in the story. If that's about Splinter Cell, I also like the fact that they got Michael Ironside to do the voice acting. I'm a fan. He was great in a lot of stuff he was in, going back to V, the final battle.
I think Highlander 2.
Highlander 2, yes. Highlander 2.
If they'd ever
Starship
made it,
Troopers.
If they'd ever made Highlander 2, that would have been his greatest movie. If they'd ever made it.
If they
ever made Highlander 2, it would have been his greatest movie.
I was going to say, when did they make a sequel to that movie?
The Renegade Cut is fine. Renegade Cut is fine. It's fine.
I'll actually agree with I'll agree with Reed by nature. I was more of a Metal Gear fan myself.
So was I. I only played the Metal Gear ones. I never played any.
Well, Metal Gear was great because the Snake, he was basically Snake Plissken. They outright lifted.
He was inspired by Snake Plissken.
That's why they named him Snake. That's why they gave him the design, and that's why it was rumored for years when they were talking about making a movie version in the late '90s, early '00s, that they were going to get Kurt Russell to do it.
What year did those movies come out?
The Escape from New York was like 1980.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I mean, he was Snake all the way back in the original Metal Gear. And that would have been right then.
No, it would the original
like
Metal Gear
4.
No,
85.
The original Metal Gear came out for Nintendo. It was like 87, 88.
I know.
It might have come out a little earlier because
it came out earlier in Japan.
I know,
a lot earlier.
I was living.
No. It might have come out because it first came out for
1987.
Microsoft had a PC over in Japan only called the MSX. And Konami put a lot of their stuff on that.
So it was released in Japan and Europe in 1987 for the MSX2 computer platform, as designed by Hideo Kojima, who's one of I like
Hideo.
whatever. Kojima's super overrated. Death Stranding is such
He
a piece
is.
of shit game, and I know some
Yeah,
people
but
love
the
it.
second Death Stranding looks really good.
Don't fall for it, Slender.
I can't help it. He's so good with his presentation.
Shags
The
is having fun
trailers
with
are
it.
awesome.
Look, I love Shags, but not all of his takes are my takes. And Death Stranding is a hill I'll die on because that game is a piece of shit. I don't
never
want
had
to
an
play
interest in playing a
as a
walking
UPS
simulator.
driver. Or,
Yeah.
I'll never forgive him for fucking everything up and me never getting PT the full game. So
That wasn't him. That was Sony. That fucked
I
that
thought it
up.
was Konami. I thought he got into a big old fucking falling out with Konami.
Oh right, yeah, Konami, not Sony. 6 of one, half dozen the other. One Zybotsy's another.
all right, so Southern Belle is.
But dude, you
having
shouldn't
a
have screwed that guy's wife. And you'd still be a Konami, and I would still have my PT.
Yeah. Adrian Paul is ageless. He's fucking immortal. I've seen him at conventions. That dude still looks exactly like he did in the mid 90s, like Highlander.
Highlander the series.
And he's been around
and
for like,
in-game.
Yeah. He was Death Stranding the game with Goldeneye villain and the incubator baby?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. And it
The
was
walking
You
simulator.
carry a little baby in a backpack or whatever.
it was a stupid game. A stupid game. And Kojima always convinces people he's some artist on a next level. He does all this great presentation shit that makes you think this game is going to be amazing. And then it's just boring as fuck. Sorry.
Listen, okay, Kojima, when he was still with Konami, he would make great stories, and then the rest of the Konami development team would turn them into great games. Once he left Konami, he didn't have that great development team behind him. So it's still a great story, but there was no fucking game attached to it.
He basically called most of modern politics about 20 years ago.
+1 for Soul Assassin. Yes, Kojima overrated. At least late stage Kojima.
Like I said, I think he tells great stories, but without a team behind him that can turn those stories into a good game, he doesn't know how to make a good fucking game.
He becomes very indulgent, self-indulgent. I think. I'd say, yeah.
In a lot of ways, that's true with
directors.
With directors, yeah. If you let them have free reign, shit goes to hell. I think the worst thing that ever happened to Zack Snyder was getting Final Cut at Netflix, where they just let him do whatever he wanted. And you can see when he was given.
It's the worst thing that happened to Taika Waititi too. I thought he did okay with a couple of his movies, but then they were just like,
I
do
thought
whatever
he
you want.
did well with movies that were his original type stuff. I have not liked anything that he's touched mainstream.
I liked Thor Ragnarok. I can't deny that I
didn't.
enjoyed that fucking movie.
Here you go. This is a nice follow up to with that chart that we were looking at on Steam. So earlier this week, the Assassin's Creed social media people did actually successfully ratio Elon, and this is
they ratioed Elon and Grums together, and
Yep.
I got to give it to him, dude. They were sick burns.
No, but this is the good follow up. Remember when they ratioed Elon? Well, this is what it looks like when the entirety of the left wing audience rushing to buy your game, no measurable increase whatsoever. They might have all given. They might do it. You do it for the likes. They don't do it for the cash. So
Yep. But I do got to admit though, when Elon started talking shit and they jumped in and were like, "Is that what the guy who plays your PoE2 account told you?" That was good. And then Grumps tried to jump on him, and what did they say? Our game is out.
And then he posted a video tonight of him actually playing PoE2 on, like, over the shoulder with him in the screen playing his character.
I mean, I don't care. He paid to boost the character. Like, so sure, he can be one of the top players, but guess what? There's always going to be an asterisk next to it, and any real gamer knows that if you're paying someone else to boost your character, whatever you accomplish in the end game means fucking nothing to me. I'm sorry. Build up your own damn characters.
Yeah, or at least if you're gonna, I wouldn't make it sound like go out there and start proclaiming yourself the greatest in the world if you're letting someone do that.
Nope.
Well, the thing was,
Shut
it's a
your
game
fucking
that
mouth
is
'cause
like
you don't know.
Diablo 4, and he actually was way up there on Diablo 4. So he was trying to use that clout to pretend that he was doing great in PoE.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, everybody realized he was being boosted, and so now everybody's asking the same question. Did he even do that in Diablo 4? Probably not.
That's a good question.
And like, here's the thing. I don't fucking care. I've got buddies who way back in the day when we all played World of Warcraft, it's like, oh, we just hit level fucking 40 and then they run off and they buy a fucking super expensive mount. And I'm like, how the fuck? And then they buy mounts for everybody else that made level 40. And I'm like, how the fuck? You bought gold, didn't you? No. I've just been grinding. No fucking way you were grinding. You bought gold from one of the Chinese gold sellers. You've got plenty of it, and that's why you're just buying up everything right now.
I sold a Dark Moon Fair card that gave me enough to buy 2 or 3 mounts off of one raid.
Yeah, well, that'll happen.
Because it was like the first time Dark Moon Fair was introduced, and I got one of the rarer cards, so I was like, auction house. I'm not going to try to collect all of them.
And here's the thing. I agree with Eclay. Maybe he was too busy saving astronauts to level up a character. That's fine. But don't act like you fucking accomplished this because you didn't. You paid someone else to run 90 meters of the 100-meter dash for you, and then you jumped in and ran the last 10.
I like Eric's comment. I love the meme about Baron Trump to Elon. I spent 200 hours leveling your character. You should be good now. Now, Slender, I do have a piece of news with you as the lore-accurate Maul sword expert is important, and I need your take on, which is the United Kingdom is banning ninja swords effective this summer.
They're getting outlawed.
They're not banning ninjas, just ninja swords.
Because
when we promise action, we take it. You fucking retards.
I know, what a retard.
Because look at this, knife crime is at epidemic levels and is ruining lives. So let me reiterate how we did this. Right now, it's not the massive wave of unvetted immigration that is leading to people who are anti your entire way of life and culture, who are murdering your citizens.
Who have a history of using blades to cut people's heads off.
Mm-hmm. It is the fact that they have unfettered access to blades.
By the way, those aren't ninja swords, they're machetes.
That's right, not one of them has used a ninja sword in any of those stabbings or knife crimes. Not one.
You know,
that I've heard of.
I'm going to be honest.
The machete identifies as a ninja weapon.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
Japan is going to have a little bit of I guess it's coming through that yes, I am a raider for community notes, and I have a very, very good standing score right now, so I participate.
I haven't checked my standing score in a while.
I'm
not good.
I could actually start writing notes, but I don't have the time and inclination to do that.
I spread my butter with a naginata.
All right, Soul Assassin. I'm not saying I agree with you, but I'm not saying I don't agree with you either. Yeah, because this goes back to the Ottoman Empire and their feelings on taking Europe.
Fuck's sake.
Look, they decided to do it a different route, Imp. They've
just
played a long game.
If you're going to go to the Ottoman Empire, we've only got 12 minutes to start trivia, or we're not allowed to. According to
playing.
I have no power here, Imp. I can't stop him.
They're playing the long game.
Just leave.
They're playing the long game. You know this.
Now, is this due to Idris Elba saying that he thinks butter knives should be outlawed because knives are being used?
Oh, this is he's part of the philosophy over there where it's never the person using the tool, it's the tool that needs to go away. And they're talking about like not just butter knives, a fucking steak knife in your house,
Anything
right?
with an edge.
You're gonna have to get a goddamn background check to order a set of steak knives.
But I'm not misremembering. Didn't Idris Elba
at this point?
Did it work? Did he stop talking about the Ottoman Empire?
Yeah, we're talking about knives.
We're talking about Idris Elba as an example because
didn't he do a video just a couple weeks ago? In his kitchen or whatever.
Also, can I point out something else that I've hated this whole time?
What's that?
You've got Brahma Bull in the co-host position, and I really I'm taking issue with it.
It just auto sorts.
You've had him there the whole fucking night.
It's because he must have
Don't
changed
pop a
it.
blood vessel, Slender.
I haven't done anything. It's where it's put it up until when I just did it. I haven't touched anything. It's just where it's auto sorting us.
He left again. Yeah, so what Idris Elba and the Labour Party are advocating now as their next step is they're gonna fucking make it so you sell knives in England that have no sharp edge. Like not sharp edge, but the pointed end will be gone because somehow if you have a serrated blade that still couldn't hurt people, it's the blunt, it's the sharp tip,
it's the stabby pointy tip, huh?
This guy's, I don't. He should have it. The things coming out of his mouth sound like somebody in a chat music video looked that we watched a couple of weeks ago to be YouTube compliant. So
I would love to see the study that was conducted that led to them thinking that a policy prescription of banning ninja swords is going to somehow help them with their
they never addressed the
cute. You think they
root
actually did a
cause.
study?
They never address the root cause of the violence, do they? They only address these superficial. It's like we all know why there's so much knife crime.
I was having this conversation with Bride. I think earlier today, like this morning when we were having our coffee, I was like, they're banning all these fucking knives over there now. Have they mentioned that they're also having kind of a bit of a grape epidemic over there?
No,
and
no.
At what point do you get to that and go, okay, we're banning dicks. We're going to do a dick buyback. No. You have to go to the nearest hospital.
No,
we're going to pay you for your dick.
Just to give you that one, they won't even talk about because with Rotterdam and where this stuff happened, Keir Starmer, who was at the time, he was the secretary in charge of the police agencies in England.
Mm-hmm.
And the police agencies participated in the cover-up. Mm-hmm. And so I
believe some of the victims were actually arrested for hate speech, were they not?
Yeah, because the victims were pushing the victims'
family members.
They were pushing for an independent inquiry into the cover-up to see how far up it went and who was involved with making sure the stories about this disappeared. Because we got more coverage of it in the United States than were allowed to be published in United Kingdom newspapers at the time. I remember reading about this story. It was on Breitbart in 2013, 2014, because they were covering it because Breitbart had a couple of people from England who were living here and were able to publish the stories here because we have a First Amendment. In the UK, those stories got shut down.
I'm telling you, at some point that it's always just the most absurd solution to their problems that's not going to solve anything. But at some point, they're just going to be like, well, if nobody has dicks, nobody can grape.
Because it hurts more, you twit.
I like our chat because Davida goes, but why a spoon, cousin? And
because it's dull, it'll hurt more.
Reed is right there with it. Because it's blunt, you twit.
The First Amendment doesn't protect you from British law. They will come after you like Gab, and they'll come after you for saying things they don't like because British law trumps everything in the world. Apparently, any other law in the world, any jurisdiction, British law is able. You can go after somebody for saying something in America, basically. So that's what they say.
Yep.
Yeah. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Come arrest me. Let's see how that goes.
Well, apparently they said they would.
And again, I invite them to come out.
And we should all be, and when we have people who say things that are silly, like Trump was just the lesser of two evils choice and wasn't a good president, it's important to remember, if the person who was unburdened by what has been got into the office, yet they would probably extradite Elon and all of us who post on social media to England to allow us to be prosecuted for hate
Yes,
speech.
they would. Yes.
So
absolutely.
So it's don't take the black pill and say silly things like that. It's 100%.
What are they going to do? Are they going to send British police over here to yell stop, or I'll say stop again?
Apparently, they were saying they would do that.
Well,
Keir
no, I
Starmer
mean
said
that's
they
the
would do
thing.
that.
If they file charges in England under their laws, normally the only, we're protected because the US wouldn't extradite American citizens out, but there's nothing. We have treaties that say it's our choice whether we extradite or not. And if we had somebody in office who wanted to, you could be extradited out, because they would send US Marshals, arrest you, and say that the United States federal government has acquiesced to this foreign warrant, and you are being extradited to face charges in England.
Yeah, I don't see that happening in the next 4 years.
It won't happen these 4 years because we did the right thing. So that's again, when you just don't. I just don't like people not acknowledging the inherent good result for us as citizens because of the election we had. Because
much like the first time he was elected, and people who were never Trump or became never Trump didn't acknowledge that if Hillary had been picking the Supreme Court justices, it'd be a lot worse than what Trump picked, even if people don't like what Trump picked.
Just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you can't acknowledge when they're doing things right, and it would have been a lot worse the other way. Like, I don't like Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I can acknowledge that those were some sick burns that they posted this week.
All right.
Not going to save their company, but
I mean, I keep hanging out with you guys, so there's that.
While not liking us? I can understand that.
Yeah, well.
We don't like you either.
Just
do any of us like each other? I'm pretty sure me and Brahma were at each other's throats on Tuesday.
Yeah. Just as I just saw this one the other day and it made me laugh because it's true. Zoomers will never be able to comprehend that our B movies used to be Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey teaming up to hunt dragons in post-apocalyptic Britain.
Reign of Fire.
That was such a
I just
crazy
got a physical copy
movie.
of that recently. I got a physical copy.
I mean, the sequence where he's just jumping through the sky with the axe.
And then just gets right into the mouth.
Just gets snatched out of the air. Which honestly, afterwards, I was like, I can't believe that's what happened. But what did he think was going to happen?
It reminds me of the scene in The Other Guys at the beginning of the movie when they're like, no one knows what went through their head and making them think they could jump off a building.
Aim for the bushes?
Yep, there were no bushes. What was it, The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson?
Yep.
I love at the funeral when Marky Mark's like, what were they thinking? There weren't even there was no bushes. There was nothing. There was just pavement.
Hey, if I want to hear you talk, I will put my hand up your ass and operate your mouth like one of them puppets.
When this movie came out, I took this chick on a date to the movies, and she was big into cars. And she was like, well, you pick the movie. And of course, I picked Reign of Fire over Fast and the Furious 1. She was so pissed.
But you made the right choice.
Yes, I did.
Fast and the Furious has never
History
been good.
will show you made the right choice.
I know a lot of people love those movies, and I'm like, there has never been a good one. It's just
First
none
one
of
was
them are
probably
good.
okay. First one was okay.
No.
No, it's still okay.
Okay is
just
good.
If I have to look at
So,
Michelle
sure.
Rodriguez on the screen trying to be tough,
All right,
it's
which
not an
is
okay
why
movie.
which is why the okay one was the one in Brazil, because that's when Michelle Rodriguez's character was supposedly dead, so she wasn't in it.
The one in Japan.
Well, the one in
where she
Japan
doesn't
didn't have
mention
any
it at
yeah.
all.
Tokyo
Yeah,
Drift
Tokyo
was
Drift.
good too. You didn't even have your car. I need NOS. I can tell you, man, working at a dental office for years, like we had to do more securing of NOS around Fast and Furious releases. Like the police would come, would like send little memos out to the like offices, like say, "Hey, reminder, there's a new Fast and Furious. You need to lock up your nitrous tanks."
I'm surprised there was any left. You guys would be huffing it all day.
We didn't do the hippie crack. We're not a small town lawyer in Minnesota.
No, they're not. Josh Hammond, you are incorrect. They're not. I'll give you okay. I will give you okay, which is a step down from good. But good would be a 7 or an 8. Okay is a 5 or a 6.
So
and I would put those on the low end of that.
So I want to know, rating wise, what did you put Reign of Fire at?
Reign of Fire?
That's
a
very, seven and a half,
high
right?
6. No, it's
No, it's a
not
7.5
movie.
at least. Come on.
It's an okay movie, but it's high on the okay scale. It's like a 6.9.
It's a popcorn flick.
Yep.
Davina lives her
They
life
don't
a
get the
quarter
same
mile at a
rating
time.
system.
That's true. If we're specifically rating it as a ridiculous summer blockbuster action flick, then I give it an 8.5.
The funny thing is, the version of Britain portrayed in Reign of Fire is far preferable to the one they've actually got today in real life.
It's like, would you take the UK overrun by dragons or over? You know, in a lot of ways, it's similar.
Give me the dragons. No,
give me the dragons. Give me the dragons.
They're,
Bale and
it's
McConaughey.
you know, it's a non-English speaking population moving in indiscriminately killing the natives. So yeah, it's very it is very similar
and multiplying rapidly.
Yeah, and taking over. Yeah.
I have to ask, you had new ideas for trivia. Did you actually do anything, or are we doing
No, we're gonna do. I'm gonna try out this one to see if we like it, and before I spend the time making mine to see if it works.
Okay.
Because man, what is ESPN is such a piece of shit website. They're putting the women's tournament above the men's when there's men's games. They can kiss my ass.
I guess they don't like money.
They need to get rid of gendered sport, like that Pennsylvanian senator says, and just have sport. No men's sport, no women's sport. Just sport.
I mean, I'm just gonna, because it's ridiculous. Like you go to ESPN, I was just popping in to see the scores, and like this is the front page. This is the top of it. And you have to scroll down, and here's the men's tournament. It's like, what are they thinking? Like that I'm going to ESPN because I want to see the women's score right now? No. And the reason they're doing this, I'm going to say that it's, it's just showing you that the game is on ESPN. So ESPN has the TV rights to the women's tournament, whereas for the men's tournament, CBS, TBS,
Didn't the WNBA kind of fuck themselves over though? Didn't they like drive off that one woman who was actually
Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
No, she's still in the WNBA, and they are.
I thought she went to Europe.
No, she's WNBA's biggest star. No, what they're doing also is like every city that has a WNBA team, when her team, which is the Indiana Fever, is coming to town, they are moving the games into the actual NBA arenas because they can sell them out. The only way they make ticket revenue that's positive is when Caitlin Clark comes to their city. It's hilarious. Like they're trying to push this girl Angel Reese and McDonald's just did a big promo with her and all this shit. Like she's an
insufferable bitch.
Like she is like she's somebody that people like. The Chicago Sky, they have 2 games against the Indiana Fever at home. They've moved those games.
Dude, I don't even gotta hear her speak to know that bitch racist as fuck.
She's the one who is complaining, saying that she's going to organize a walkout or a holdout unless they're paid the same as
Would anybody
paid
notice?
like the men. And it's like, if you were paid like the men, you would owe the league.
Yeah, if you were paid
hundreds
like
of
the men, you'd
thousands
be
of dollars each
making
because
less
you're like
money.
44 million in the hole.
I disagree.
It's
I think
amazing how they keep talking about they want equal compensation. It's like, okay, we'll give you the same contract as men, and they're like, no, we don't want that contract.
The
I
NBA
disagree.
subsidizes the whole WNBA.
I disagree entirely. If the women were paid the same as the men, they would be just as popular. That's the way it works.
Sure.
Just pay them first, then they'd be popular.
If they had the exact same contract as the men, they'd be making nothing.
Yep. No, what they
Nothing.
So what they were asking for was the same percentage of league revenue as the men get. The men in major United States sports, the breakdown is usually 50-50, where the players get 50% of the league revenue that comes from TV deals and such, and the owners get 50%. And that's why they have salary caps and things that fluctuate based on how much the leagues make. The WNBA, the players only get 20% because the league's shitty and has never made money, and so the NBA gives them the NBA
subsidizes like 40 to
you know,
50 million
so
of it.
yeah, so the NBA actually puts money in every year to keep this league going, so they get 50% of the revenue, the NBA, and then the owners and players split the remaining amount, except there's also another investor in the league, so they get 5%. And so the owners and players are splitting 45% of the league revenue. So they each get about 22% of money, which is why because the league is shitty and doesn't make much money, that's why the WNBA players don't get paid as much. So
which if they had the same contract,
yeah,
then the men are not the NBA would stop subsidizing because they're not getting any return.
No, because they get no return on investment. And then the league would fold.
So they get 50% of nothing.
Yeah, so the league would fold if that happened because the league has to keep putting money in.
But surely they're just as capable as the men, so that would never happen.
So
I've watched just small clips of it, and they can't. I mean, Angel Reese, who they're trying to push as the big thing, since they've basically destroyed Caitlin Clark by beating her up every time she gets on the court.
Oh, she's
Angel
gonna win
Reese can't make a freaking layup.
No,
over and over and over. It's just missed layup.
The WNBA has lost roughly $200 million since inception.
Long may it continue.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
No, just let it
Let
die.
them
I do love watching the videos of their championship parades, though.
Yeah,
people in their lawn chair waving little flags.
This was like back when the fucking soccer players were throwing their fucking fit. It's like, oh, we won the world tournament, blah blah blah. We deserve as much as the men because we're better than them. And it's like, what kind of revenue you bring in? Oh, nothing nearly as much as what the men bring in.
Which is what I loved. I got into argument. One of my best friends from high school, his mother was like talking about that, and I was like, it doesn't make sense economically. She's like, what? No, they win. I was like, yes, the women's national team
nobody
for the
watches
US
them win.
Wins. And do you know how much the women's World Cup made in revenue? And she's like, no. I was like, well, I do because I looked into the case. The entire women's World Cup made total revenue before expenses like $200 million.
Whereas the men's World Cup is like closer to $2 billion.
No, the men's World Cup after expenses made $2 billion in profit.
Right.
Profit. Between the TV deals that they make internationally, like the men's World Cup has TV deals. Every country pays to license and pay the FIFA
makes
thing.
a fortune.
I mean, the fucking FIFA World Cup video game gets put out every time there's a World Cup, and that shit sells. And then they have all the ticket revenue because guess what? The men's game sells out every goddamn stadium it plays in the FIFA World Cup. You know, so
my favorite thing about the US women's soccer team was when they played a high school boys team and they beat the high school boys.
Not even
boys
high school. It was
them,
under 13.
and they beat them.
It was like the JV All-Star team. It was the JV team, like John Brahma was saying. They beat them 7-3.
Yeah, they beat the World Cup winning US.
Yes,
it's just ridiculous.
I've said it before. If the women's soccer team, if the U.S. women's soccer team thinks they're better than the U.S. men's soccer team, and how about this? You will get what the men are getting paid without any of the downsides if you can beat them in one fucking game.
No, and you know what? I'd even give them the handicap. I'd say We will
We'll
have
give you 5 points up front.
No. I'm going to have them play the under 21 men's team.
With the
not
hands
even
tied,
not even the not even our men's team has premiership players and other shit. I'm talking about like the under 21s where none of them are pros.
The amateurs.
And I guarantee you our under 21s would beat them like
it'd be 20 or
30
to 0.
Yeah.
It'd be a slaughter.
It's like when John McEnroe got in trouble for saying, that Serena would be like the last ranked
except Serena said
player,
that
and
She
Serena,
says it too.
right? But they tried to beat up McEnroe for it on TV, and he was like, "No, I'm not going to apologize for that." And then you see the clip of Serena like, "No, I'd get destroyed by all of them. It's a completely different game."
Yep,
dude, I was a pretty decent soccer player in high school. In my 30s, late 30s, maybe even now, I could declare myself a woman and be the number 1 player in the women's U.S. soccer team immediately.
Our varsity team did have to play against a couple of schools that had girls on it, and all of us varsity players would sit out, send our JV team up, and the JV team would win 18-1, 18-0.
I'm glad that story didn't go the other direction where I thought Braun was going to be like, and we all played really close defense.
Yeah.
A lot of contact in that
a
game.
lot of contact. I made sure like she wasn't getting the ball by me.
It was all incidental. I mean, I didn't mean to, but I don't know how my hand got up for sure. She should
Read
tucked
by
it
Nature
in.
points out that they also got beat by Wrexham by double digits, which is the equivalent. I think right now they're like a AAA team. They're not in the Premiership yet. They're in the league.
Not.
They're in the Champions League, right? Which is
I think
below.
at that time they were even.
They've gone up
that.
twice.
Yeah.
At that time, they were at the lowest league.
I think it's like the 3rd division or something, or the bottom division in the professional league. Yeah.
All right. So good news. I saw this post. If you wanted to see Working Man, you've got even more reason to, because per IGN it's a 3, which is awful, and their review blurb is that's throws a lot of punches, but it's made. All right, here we go. It's a paper thin, paint by numbers, one man's versus the Underworld saga, and they're giving it a 3. Like it's bad. So IGN is the Jim Cramer of fucking reviews.
I can almost feel the soy coming out of that review.
Yeah,
soy pouring out of it.
Well, it's like Lady Gravemaster said last night. Her review of it was basically, it is a great, perfectly masculine movie.
Mm-hmm. That's why you would go and see it.
Yeah, other than the fact that they
it had a few moments, Eric, where there was
minor spoiler.
Gore.
Minor spoiler. It's not the end of the world, and I won't give away too many details. But one of the main antagonists was a crazy bitch woman, and they did not let him be the one to kill her.
I didn't mind that because they made a.
Though it's not the protagonist,
but they also made a point.
I did because a little fucking 90-pound girl did it, and I was like, no, fucking no.
Yeah, but she was also like a 90-pound girl, so it was fine. It was girl on girl.
Yeah, there's nothing
wrong
with that.
But a 90-pound girl who is handcuffed to the ceiling gets her legs over her.
Don't spoil it too much.
Like, I'm sorry, it was stupid. It was fucking.
Yeah, but like he did get to kill a psycho bitch woman in the Beekeeper.
Do you know what was gory, Eric?
They should have done that.
Popeye the Slayer Man.
Yes.
Slayer Man.
He am what he am.
I am what I am.
Brahma Bull was like, I need to find the shittiest movie I can watch.
Popeye the Slayer Man.
It's a brand new movie. Just came out.
Awesome.
It was a pretty good little slasher.
It's worth it for the title alone.
It was worth it because he only has like 4 lines, and like he's killing people in the beginning, and this chick is like, "You're a monster. You're horrible," and he just turns and looks at her and goes, "I am what I am." Like all of his lines are just Popeye-isms that were just literally like. Yeah. He does not say anything throughout the movie. It's
I guess great. It's public domain Popeye, and anybody can make a Popeye movie. Yeah,
just like Winnie the Pooh hit last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Does he get tiny little twig legs?
Does he get to dip anything in olive oil?
No, but there's a twist to that portion of the story in the movie.
Okay. Don't give it.
I don't want to spoil Popeye the Slayer, man.
That's right.
God.
You're really promoting that one. Like,
I'm with you, Eric.
It was kind of
I
fun,
watched
Chad.
the trailer and I was like, this trailer is gory as fuck. I would never watch this movie.
Oh yeah, at one point he does pull on some girl's hair through a crack in the door until her whole scalp rips off.
Yep, I saw it in the trailer. They showed all.
There's
the best
quite a
parts
bit of
trailer.
eye gouging that is the deep style eye gouging.
Nice.
Because he is what he is.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect answer, isn't it? Really.
Mm-hmm.
About the most gore I can handle is Hot Fuzz.
So you loved Hostel.
No, I never watched Hostel. I refuse.
Anything Eli Roth.
If we ever all get together, we should just tie Slender down and make him watch Hostel.
Good luck with that.
Look at the
I
screen.
just make him watch
look.
Berserk.
I
At least that's got a
think it'd be
story to it.
funny to see you guys try to tie me down because you'll
You
lose
gotta sleep at some
fingers.
point.
He needs that machine from Clockwork
Imp-
Orange that holds his eyes open all the time. So he
Have
has to
you
watch.
ever met anyone from the military?
Yes, plenty.
Yeah. We don't sleep like you sleep.
Sure, you say
But
that.
you do sleep.
All right.
You do sleep.
Ask
Do
my
you
wife
really
about
think
it. I wake
Bride
up
would stop
about
us?
15 times a night.
Do you really think Bride would stop us from fucking with you?
Oh yeah, I think she'd stab
Yeah,
you.
she.
You specifically, she would stab you to death.
I hate to break it to you, Bride is ride or die. She's gonna take Slender's side. This is, and she's from like that border Canada zone, so she's gonna have skills with
I
knives.
thought she
and
was
things.
just true Canadian through and through.
I don't know. I think it's like a
Steeped in
territory.
maple. She's steeped in maple.
Fucking
Like
syrup
since they're
cans.
banned, she won't use the ninja sword, but she will stab you.
Yeah, I'll just wear my mail. That's all.
They're not banned here.
Gee, and why is it when I put my hand on your shoulder, it feels like metal?
It can't
I'm
be
not
banned
dumb,
here
I'm in
because
Slender's house. I'm wearing my mail shirt.
They can't be banned in Canada because there's an entire store in Calgary just selling samurai swords and ninja swords and all. So it can't be banned here.
I do love, though, that Canada is like, yeah, we would like to join the European Union over becoming a portion of America. It's like, yeah, you guys really do love the losers.
Yeah, how quickly can we commit suicide? Very quickly or super fast quickly?
Fine. Go ahead, join the EU
Warp
and see how that
speed.
works out for you.
I'm claiming political asylum in the US. So. Mind you, if Alberta joins.
The
Nice.
EU is just Germany's continuation of trying to turn the entirety of Europe socialist.
It looks like it, yes.
If we can't do it with the guns, we will do it with the Deutschmark. That's what the euro is, just the next generation Deutschmark, which is
Yes,
crazy.
it is.
I mean, no other currency traded at that level except the Deutschmark. And so they made everybody else get fucked by having to go to the level of the Deutschmark. Like in Italy, they used to have the lira, and it was a running joke in the very beginning of the Daily Show when Craig Kilborn was the host. They would do like the box office in
The
lira.
only good time, the Daily Show.
And the lira would be like, this movie made 3 trillion lira on opening week, because they devalue your currency, so it makes you more competitive for exports and things. Anyway, we don't need to get into this. We're going to have some fun trivia. We don't need the economics and how Germany used their overwhelming economic power to take over Europe without firing a shot, while the U.S. was paying for protection. Was paying for the protection against Russia, the Soviet Union at the time. Anyway, so we're going to do 90s nostalgia trivia.
Canadian ninjas come up behind you and slit your throat and whisper in your ear, sorry.
He's like, would you like some pasta? All right.
They seal their
90s.
cuts with maple syrup.
All right. What board game?
Mousetrap.
Mousetrap.
Nice. Was anybody ever able to successfully set this up so it actually operated properly?
Yes.
Never once.
Without having to do one thing for it?
I don't
Never
think I ever had a
during the
complete
game.
box.
Imp actually set it up with rotating knives. It was even better.
Yeah.
Knives are too big. Razor blades.
Razor blades.
It was always the part where which one of these had like the rubber band that was supposed to go off? That never worked right.
Like the very first step of it.
Oh, look at Eric over here.
I don't
Mine
know
worked
how many
all the time.
times. I don't know how many times the fucking cage would like move down 2 notches and then stop.
What's funny is that all of the rides at Disney now look just like this.
Oh my fucking god, they do. God damn it, they do. The color schemes, the
Yeah.
building style.
And they work just as well.
That's true. Oh no. The Mousetrap
I
games.
vaguely
There was a
remember
Mousetrap
that,
game
yeah.
show?
I do not remember.
Was that on Nickelodeon? I guarantee you Bad Take
Definitely
Logan
wasn't
had
on
to set
Nickelodeon,
this
or
up
we
for
would have
her
known it.
kids. Bad Take, were you setting this up for your kids to play? She's like, yeah, and plus I think some of her kids are borderline engineer type minds, so they were probably really into Mousetrap.
All I remember
I
of
was
this
into
is
those
buying
Marvel
it at multiple garage sales, hoping to finally get a complete board.
Did you try to mix and match to get like a
Yes,
complete set?
just trying to get one complete set from multiple garage sales because my parents weren't going to pay for this crap.
All right, what do we got coming up next?
PlayStation 1.
Oh, that's an original PlayStation.
That's not an original.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a
PS1.
PlayStation 1.
I don't think
PS1.
that. I think that's the Slim.
No, it's not.
No, that's
The
the
Slim had
original.
rounded edges and was
Slim
white,
was-
not gray.
That does
Yeah.
have rounded edges.
This is the
regular
Slender.
PlayStation
This is the
more
Slender,
block.
not the Slim.
That's not the PS1 as they called it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the PS1.
No. The Slim version was called the PS1. The original version, that one was just called the PlayStation.
Really?
They're saying the
Yes.
answer
Yeah.
here is the PlayStation 1.
I'm looking that up because I think they're wrong.
Well, there was never a 1 on the PlayStation until there was a 2.
That's right.
All right, what do we got next?
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, they got the
skip
wrong
it.
one. That is not it. That is the Slim model.
No, it's
Skip
not.
it.
Well, they called it PlayStation 1 in this trivia.
Yeah, they're wrong. I'm looking at them on Amazon right now.
No, but that supports what you're saying. That it was the Slim.
Don't
Well,
do that.
I agree.
70s.
Like I said, I think they got it wrong because that was not the original PlayStation 1 they were showing.
Yes, it was.
Shifty says it was a PS Mini, not a Slim.
Probably because
It's
that's the
not the
most
mini.
current thing they could find without having to go buy a PS1.
Probably, but that was not an original PlayStation. I was like, that's too pale. Like the originals were a darker gray, first off,
No,
and they
pale
didn't
as
have,
steel.
and they didn't have that rounded off edges like that. They were like very rectangular.
PS Mini is the Slim. Okay. Finkel is Ironhorn. Ironhorn is Finkel.
Finkel.
All right. So yeah. Yeah, the skip it. Yeah. That's another tool that never worked. And also, as you were using it, if you ever tried it, it would basically start cutting into your goddamn ankle.
I
Because
never
the
had one of those.
the
You're supposed to wear
plastic would,
pants, right?
the plastic would always get like edgy on those things. It
Well,
was
who made
Everybody
the
got
rolling
edgy. It
counter
was the
never
90s.
Yeah, I mean, we had slap bracelets that were literally just metallic rulers inside of
oh yeah. Once
very thin fabric that
once
could
the
slice
vinyl
you in
or
half.
fabric wore, you could pull that little metal thing right out, and yeah,
And it really was just one of the rulers that you pull out, and they had just cut it into pieces.
Yep. All right, so everybody seemed pretty good with yeah.
Yeah,
Is this some kind of sexual device?
Yeah.
Your kids would have been around the age they were playing with this. Skip it. Hey, Joe's atmosphere.
What's up, Joe?
Hey,
All right,
Joe.
Joe.
Coming out.
I
Nice.
go.
All right, what do we got? Ooh. Oh, that's a PDA, personal data assistant.
PDA.
It
That was
I was gonna say
But
I
it-
don't even know what the fuck that is.
It had a brand name. It was like My Diary or something.
yeah, but that was a whole genre for you younger folks. There was a whole genre of technology where it was an electronic address book and
I had one of
calendar.
those.
It was a
But not this
personal,
one.
and they branded them as a personal data assistant to replace
Mhm.
because amazingly you used to have to carry a book, an address book around.
Oh boy.
My
We
parents-
Or you had a good
39
memory.
seconds into a 10-minute video, and already Chad is going to pause and give us the history of every single item we see.
Oh Jesus Christ! We'll keep going because somebody's sad that
Told
they
you it was a
didn't.
diary name.
Well, it says this diary. It's Tiger Electronics, man. They made everything. Those little handheld games. Do you remember the handheld ones where it was just like the icon would just move like the fist or the arm, like
Yeah.
when you're
Heavy Barrel, a few other ones.
Tiger Electronics. How many of the little games did you have, Slender? Did you have some of the Tiger Electronics handhelds?
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah,
to be
but
done
how
with
many
the
of
game.
us had the water games where you push the button and try to get rings to go onto the things? By
Oh, those things were. Oh, yeah,
Slap
we
bracelets.
just covered those, so we'll let that go right through. Although those colors are a little bit muted for slap bracelets, so that's
Nickelodeon.
what channel?
Nickelodeon?
Yep. Do we remember the phrase that got you slimed?
Depends on the show.
Yeah.
Like the one you're probably thinking of is I don't know.
That was I was trying
You
to
can't
set
do
it up.
that on television.
Yep. And, well, that was the show that started it from Canadian.
And then
it
Double
featured-
Dare had
Give your
it.
balls a tug. Was that the
Yeah,
phrase?
and Alanis Morissette was on that show.
No,
Double
Get Your
Dare?
Balls a Tug in Nickelodeon was
She
apparently
provided the
still
slime.
existed.
She was the slimer.
No, I think Slender's right. That was later on Nickelodeon, unfortunately, and it messed up a lot of kids. So,
What?
The give your
Give your balls
Give your balls
balls
a
a tug.
Because what was the name of the producer? Schneider, whatever.
Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider. Yep. Messed
Didn't he do something messed up yet?
Yeah, he
He's
was
done plenty messed up.
messed up. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
Goosh.
Koosh ball.
Yep. Push ball. Those
How is
things
it that
were-
I say it and then Brahma says it like it was his guess 5
No, it
seconds
was-
later?
You got it.
He hangs out with Matt a lot.
Slender, you've got a
Apparently.
delay on your feed. We didn't hear you till
Process
after.
of
No, stop saying that. Slender said it first, and it's clear. If we'll go to the replay, and it's
He
in there.
clearly got it first.
Yeah,
but I
we
was
can
in the
check tape.
process of getting it out.
We
I
can
mean,
check tape. No, he beat you. Check tape.
I
That was a
never
huge
have argued
gap.
that he beat me. He's saying that I copied him. It's like, no.
You pulled a Matt on me.
I guess Mad's probably saving his stuff, right? He's probably out till
I don't know.
I mean, we're using his studio, so I thought he might show up.
You didn't tell him what time the show started.
Oh,
Magic
8
Ball.
Magic
Ball.
8 Ball. Yeah.
Man, those things never actually like. This is the clearest image I've ever seen of Magic 8 Ball telling you the answer. Those things got
How many
scrunched up
times
and
did yours
seen.
hit the corner triangles where it's
Yeah.
just like,
I was used to
damn
get
it.
the answer. I got the answer that said "fuck you" quite a lot of the time.
That would have been
My
a great
favorite was
spot.
my sources say yes.
I mean, that would have been a great thing if somebody snuck in on a Magic 8 Ball where the it did it. One of the icon answers was "fuck you."
Your mother's a whore.
I'm sure somebody like the makers of Cards Against Humanity have made an adult Magic 8 Ball at this point.
a
Like,
Magic
if you-
8 Ball that when you ask it the question, it says, "Ask your mother after I take my dick out of her mouth."
It's like, I'm not sure about that, but your mother's a whore.
That's right.
Rough, just like your mother likes it.
Dexter's lab.
Dexter's Lab.
Dee Dee, get out of my lab.
Laboratory. It's laboratory. He never
Yeah.
says lab.
Dexter Labia.
Laboratory, yeah.
Get out of my laboratory.
I like there was, I forget where I saw it, but it was like a joke where this was a prequel to like Dexter, the show where he kills serial killers. It's like, and Dee Dee was his first like kill. Like, you are obnoxious. The world
I
is
like
better
that
without
idea.
you.
That's quite a good idea.
His sister and Dexter was obnoxious. So
Mhm.
I never watched this cartoon.
Johnny Bravo.
Never watched this one either.
You never
was the
watched
best
Johnny
one.
Bravo? It was awesome.
He was so sexist. You could not make his show today.
Well, that gets points towards it.
Lots of points. It's so good.
I missed out on another shutout. 70s.
Oh, what happened? I was watching the
I
scores.
just didn't play him.
Oh, right, okay.
Just real quick, yeah, I'm gonna show this because this was on my X feed. Some dude went around the Tokyo airport dressed as Johnny Bravo, completely in character.
Yeah, I saw that earlier this week.
Firearms, anything.
No, but I got these guns.
Oh, Hellebuck. Why didn't you play Hellebuck? Jeez. Especially against New Jersey.
You just can't. You're just jealous. I'm too pretty. Oh, no.
Hell, you should have played Bobrovsky too.
He does the dance and everything.
That's awesome, though. That's
awesome.
Dude, my favorite is still when he goes up to the girl and he's like, "You smell kind of pretty. Want to smell me?"
He was basically the modern version of Pepe Le Pew, just going after the girls, failing. It was great, and he never gave up trying. He was actually
He was also a black belt in every martial art known to man
and women, probably.
Probably.
It's great. If
But
you
built
haven't,
like fat Steven Seagal.
yeah.
Telephone?
No, it was like
Dining at the
it's
Y.
not Mystery Date, right? It's no. This was
Mystery Mall.
Obviously aimed at girls, so I don't know the name, but I remember the TV ads for it.
I did not even remember that these existed. I don't know if I ever even saw a commercial for these.
Do you think your kids would know how to operate a touch-tone phone if you handed them one?
Mine probably would, but then my kids are in their 30s.
They could probably do a touch tone, but they would be lost on a rotary.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
Jesus.
definitely would not know how we had to text back in the day, pressing the button multiple times for a different letter.
Oh, yeah.
No. One is A, B, or C. So if you want an A, you push one time. If you want a B, you push it 2 times. If you want a C, you push it 3 times.
Don't tell them the secrets, you bastard.
We got so here you go. We got 2 people thinking the same thing. It's an ad for Scream the movie and read Scream the board game. Oh wait. Bad Take Bojan.
Bad Take had it.
Electric boyfriend. The other one that uses batteries. Oh no.
And that's the thing, right? Like back in the day, you didn't hang out with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You just talked on the phone all night.
I'm funny. It's funny because do you remember how they all did you have like the see-through phone too? Like where it had
I've seen those, yeah.
We never had one of those.
Nope.
We had the one with the fancy 10-foot cord that you could like take around the corner.
Wrap it around.
I'll tell you
3 rooms down the hallway.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Like they showed in Wayne's World, I legit wanted that football phone.
The football phone?
Yeah, the football. Yes, he got his football phone. Thank you for checking.
Your team has won the Super Bowl. Where are you going? Disneyland. Now, if you call right now and order Sports Illustrated,
Green
you
phone.
get this
Guess who
football-shaped
likes
phone.
you in this talking telephone game?
What the fuck? Okay.
This
whatever.
is one. You know what? That 100%.
This is a girl
appeals to
thing.
girls. Do you remember back? You know, it was great. They used to make toys and games for the different genders because we like different things.
Yeah,
That's
and
how
it's
that
pink.
Oh, was it
Robo-Dog?
just Robo-Dog? Yeah, I'm just gonna
Like I don't remember what it was called. I remember they existed.
Poochie Dog.
Poochie Dog?
No idea on that.
Was that the basis for when they made fun of like The Simpsons? Wasn't that the name of the dog?
Poochie?
Wasn't Poochie
This probably came out after that episode did.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, another name for a dog is a pooch. So I think they just went with the most simple, generic name you could go with for a dog besides Rover.
Yeah.
Jolt Cola.
Is that Jolt?
I don't know.
Drank Jolt.
No,
I'm
that's
gonna
cherry,
assume it is.
that's the edgy cherry Coke bottle. Don't you remember from the 90s?
Well, that's not a bottle, Chad.
Or well, Coke can. Well, they also put it on their bottles. Too. Yeah, Shifty knew too. It's the cherry Coke. If you drank, I drank so much cherry Coke, so I knew that one.
That if I do have a soft drink, it's cherry Coke.
Vanilla Coke is also a good one.
I hate cherry Coke. It tastes so weird.
It is. I mean, Coke.
Actually, if I get my way, it's Big Red. But...
Big Red is pretty.
That's some weird like
Remember
Midwestern.
Slice Red? That shit would stain the
Texas
carpet
thing.
forever.
But it made great floats if you used orange sherbet.
Now that they put the logo on there, I do remember those.
Yeah, but isn't that like you can almost see the '90s marketing team? Like, look how edgy this is, man. It's gonna be edgy and cool for the young kids because
grunge.
Like Coke Classic is for older people. We need an edgy new drink for young.
You gotta find a way to compete with Pepsi.
Because Pepsi's got that clear one. We got to compete with clear.
I loved Crystal Pepsi.
Crystal Pepsi was a
that shit tastes
piece
awful.
of shit.
I loved it.
It was like sugar water with caffeine.
This was back when cherry Coke was like it wasn't like a brown cola colored. It actually looked like a dark fuchsia, dark reddish color.
So yeah, there was a time where you could tell which soda it was by the color.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when I first started working at AMC.
Soul Assassin is speaking to Imp's soul right now. New Coke,
New
for
Coke
the
for the
new
new
metal
metal
generation.
generation.
Oh, fuck right off.
Oh, I knew my friends was like the roadie for a local band in Virginia that got to be was like the spokesman for like a few commercials for like, was it Pepsi Blue or that weird like Pepsi offshoot brand. And they were like, we're going to make it huge. They're using our song in this commercial. It's going to be great. And then the thing just bombed in their career. Like the band broke. It was hilarious to watch in person to see. It was like in Almost Famous. They were like a local band that had delusions of grandeur.
Delusions of adequacy.
I agree with Shifty. No, Pepsi is best. Pepsi sucks.
I hate Pepsi.
Well,
Pepsi's horrible.
I don't know if Imp knew a lot, but this is at the time. This band was in the like local Northern Virginia, Southern Maryland scene, was playing gigs at the same level as whatchamacallit, the what are the guys? No, the one of the
those were good candy.
No, the one who married Charlie's not Charlie. Benji Madden. What is it? What are their names? The name of the band.
Good Charlotte.
Good Charlotte. Yeah, Good Charlotte's from Maryland. Like they were a local band. I remember Good Charlotte.
What does this have to do with cherry Coke?
Because I was doing a funny anecdote, you ass. And now you've ruined it. So I'm moving on.
Andy still doesn't have in-stream powers.
I ain't getting him tonight.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, my son had one of those and I destroyed it.
You're like, yeah. Did you starve it first, 70s? Did you watch it die?
Tortured it, and then I think it ended up down the toilet.
Yes.
So I happened to watch last week a clip from the Whatever podcast. The one with all the
horse
OnlyFans chicks.
How you know what they are.
Yeah, he's got all the rules. Like you're not allowed to have your phone out. You're not allowed to. You have to actually be present. And this one girl pulls out something and starts playing around with it. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing? We told you no phones, no nothing." And she's like, "Well, I had to feed my Tamagotchi." It's like, are you serious? It's 2025.
That's right.
The Tamagotchi came out before you were born.
Throwback.
He got furious. It was funny.
I've been feeding it for 25 years.
I get it.
It's a 25-year-old one.
If you kept your Tamagotchi that long, did it go through like puberty and get bitchy about not having money for college?
No, it started its own OnlyFans.
It's like your Tamagotchi was like, "I hate you, Dad. I hate you." It's like, "But I love him, Dad. I love." I'm gonna move.
Every bad
by
choice I
nature.
make is because of you.
Everyone I knew just threw them at walls to see if they died.
But then they basically did that with the Dreamcast. Blue's
Clues.
Clues.
Steve. Yep.
The one that randomly just disappeared.
He came
But apparently
back.
did not die.
No,
he's
although
just been doing his own thing.
he just went and actually got a career doing something else. I can imagine being on a kid's show and having to go, "Hey, what's that?" Would just become. I mean, we've all seen Death to Smoochie. You know what that's like.
I love that movie. That is an underrated movie.
Yeah. He apparently broke people when he came back and was like, "I was gone for a while. How are you?" And all these tail end millennials, because Blue's Clues was
kids that were
90s.
now people in their 30s.
You ruined my life.
No, it was more like, "Oh, he's back." He's like, they have abandonment issues because Steve got replaced on Blue's Clues.
I'm so proud of everything that you guys have done. Look at you.
Oh,
Sony
that's a
Discman.
That's a
Walkman. Yeah.
And you know what? It said it had anti-skip, but that shit never worked in a car. No matter where you put it, it still skipped like a mother.
Well, you had to use that.
It depended on how many second anti-skip you had. Right?
Like the
you need
5-second anti-skip.
5-second
No.
anti-skip ain't gonna cut it in a car, man.
But they tried to teach us how to do this. Remember in the science fairs when we all had to, in the 90s, had to figure out a way to drop an egg off the top of like a 5-story building without it breaking?
Did you have some kind of egg cradle system for your?
Where you gave it a shock absorber of some kind. That's what you had to do with the Walkman.
Bad Bojan does confirm her boys cried when Steve retired. Gay. No, that's sad. It does show you the difference in generations and how we were loved. Mr. Rogers didn't quit on us. He kept going till he died. Whereas it's like we had a father figure who loved us and stayed around.
And they grew up with the Boobahs and the Wiggles.
I just had to have a whole argument defending your honor, Brahma. Bride came out here and was like, "That's not a Walkman, it's a Discman." And I'm like, "Brahma said it was a Discman."
I said
and
Discman
Chad
first.
said it was a Walkman.
I think, they started.
And I'm looking
Walkman,
at the W on the cover, and I'm thinking Walkman.
I thought Walkman was the cassette and Discman was the CD.
I think they kept the brand for a little bit and switched it to Discman. I don't know. All I remember is I had the cassette adapter that plugged into it because my car. And I swear that little
before
cord
the auxiliary port existed.
Yeah, I didn't. That thing was in the cassette tray, a thing, and I never took it out.
You had the cassette thing going in, and then you had the cigarette lighter going into this.
Yep.
Whether you call it a Discman or a Walkman, we all know what that is.
Well, let's see
what they.
It's a Discman.
It's to play compact discs.
Then we had the one where you plug the little audio jack into the Walkman.
Oh, it's a Discman.
And you plug the cassette into your tape deck in the car.
Look what it says.
Yeah, but nobody's going to say.
But I even got the brand right. I even said Sony Discman.
But no one's going to say, "Look at my playing CDs Walkman that I've got here."
No, but look, it says right on the front of it, Walkman.
Like I said, I saw the W and I assumed that we were looking at a Walkman.
I think they did change it to Discman later, but so it's the same.
Once cassettes were truly dead.
Yeah.
Except for mixtapes. Bop it.
Bop it.
I didn't. That's one I never actually had. Did you guys have one of those?
Yeah, it was like Simon, except you had to do different things instead of just memorizing the color pattern. You had to bop it, twist it, flick it, spin it.
You're doing the ad for it. Yeah. Simon was because Simon made the pleasant sounds too. Do 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 do.
Oh, that thing played.
So did this.
Eric, I was too uncoordinated for Bob.
It was truly just the next generation of Simon. Also sold at Radio Shack.
Wait, this was the extreme bottle. Bop it extreme.
Well, it was the 90s.
They added a spin it instead of a bop it.
It's like that was such a 90s. Early on, it was adding the word extreme.
Extreme.
And the next time it was like, all right, we're going to make it extreme, but we're going to make it more extreme. How we're dropping the E. We're just making it extreme.
Super Soaker Extreme, Ultra Super Soaker Extreme.
And that's how we ended up with the X Games.
Then we're gonna get rid of the E
Ultra
on the end
64.
We're gonna call it Extreme.
Crocodile Dentist or
Yeah, Croc.
It had a rhymey name though, but that's what it is. You're like you have to pull the teeth.
Yeah,
pull the
you're
teeth.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's not the one that you hit the golf ball into its mouth and then it flips it back with its tail.
No,
that was for adults.
You pull the teeth, and one of the teeth randomly will shut the mouth, and you don't want to be the one where that happens.
Okay. I mean, I've seen this. I don't remember what it's called.
Crocodile Dentist.
Okay, Crocodile Dentist.
They were so inventive with the names.
It was a snappy name. Snappy name, right there.
Shifty got it. Yeah, I knew it.
When did they slap some crazy sunglasses on it and call it Crocodile Dentist Extreme?
Oh, moon shoes.
Moon shoes.
No idea on those.
Those
Never
are
saw
moon
them.
Destroyers.
How did we not all have broken ankles and so many injuries? Like that's.
I mean,
Because
a lot
we
of us
grew up
did.
we grew up with lawn darts years before these became popular.
Oh, I do remember Eric's. I'm still mad I never got the Super Soaker with the 5-gallon backpack flamethrower style.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one Slender would have wanted because
I can almost guarantee you somebody poured a bunch of fucking kerosene into one of those and tried it out one day. And it didn't end well for them.
Soul Assassin. It's the 90s, Chad. We were extreme. These moon shoes, by the way, they did not last. What
did they do?
They made you like kind of
like a trampoline,
kind of floating in the air.
Yeah, it made you like how people walked on the moon where they had to bounce.
Yeah, you were really bouncy.
Yeah,
of the gravity. Yeah.
Yeah, and your feet never touched the ground because
I don't recall these at all.
You don't remember those? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What is
Cat's Cradle?
Is that what it's called?
It is called
Cat's
Cat's
Cradle,
Cradle.
yes.
Okay.
Stick your hand in the middle.
And the thing is, if you actually tried it with a real cat, it's not the same thing at all.
They don't like
Especially if you don't.
What the hell is it?
Wasn't it for cats?
I'm pretty sure this is a cat toy.
Yeah.
It's like a Dragon Ball or something.
Chat.
Dragon Ball Z?
I don't have the answer. What you got?
We're gonna give Chad a moment.
Whirly ball?
Soul Assassin just says dog toy.
Dog toy. Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going with whirly ball.
It looks like what is it? The Ice Age movies, that silly squirrel
the muskrat. The muskrat ball. Is this the muskrat ball?
Something like that.
I remember them, but don't recall the name. Okay.
Yeah, it was battery operated. It would go all over the place and go crazy. Weasel
ball.
Yeah, that was close.
It did start with a W.
Sock and boppers.
By the way, that is a recipe to just punch your friend as hard as you can.
Or your much younger little sisters.
It did not. It did not really stop the punch.
No.
Sock boppers.
And somebody like Slender, who probably had a lot of anger issues, was probably really, really the wrong kid to.
Yeah, but I also didn't even have a sibling until I was 14, so I couldn't beat her up. I was twice her size.
Of course, at this point, we were also all watching WCW and WWF and practicing moves on our siblings that we didn't know how to actually do, like a pile driver.
I put my little brother into was it the Lion Tamer?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this looks like it would actually really hurt. And he was crying, tapping out. And I was like, oh, it does really hurt, doesn't it? And I was like, I waited a little bit. I was like, all right, I guess you tapped out. And he's like, I've been tapping out.
Every now and then in high school, we would put each other in actual sleeper holds.
I couldn't punch my sisters with those because she would run to my dad, and that was not good. Yeah.
And that's when you argue with your dad. You guys bought them for me. What am I supposed to do? Game Boy.
Boy. Probably, I think, is it still the best-selling game, like handheld of all time, or did
I
the
believe so.
3DS
No, it might
pass
be
it?
the Advance. It might be the Game Boy Color.
Yeah,
I don't
it was
remember
still great. Like the battery life on that thing was forever too. You could actually keep, compare. I had a Game Gear.
Once they backlit it, it was better.
When if you had the Sega Game Gear, it took 6 batteries for the Game Gear,
6 batteries for like 3 hours of gameplay.
and it was like 3 hours if you're lucky.
Okay, here's the order.
And the game sucked.
At number 3, you have Game Boy and Game Boy Color with 118.6 million units sold. At number 2, you have the Nintendo Switch with 150 million units sold.
Oh, they're counting the Switch? Okay.
At least that's one system instead of Game Boy and Game Boy Color, which were two completely different things.
They were basically the same.
And then at number 1, you have
was-
the Nintendo DS at 154 million sold.
Yeah, the DS was around a long time.
I like the Advance quite a bit.
My oldest got a Game Boy Color with an Elmo's blanket game for his 3rd birthday. Yeah, the great thing is Game Boys will still work. If you find an old one, you throw the batteries in, they turn on and still work like a charm. Like the hardware in them is rock solid.
You just got to blow that cartridge.
That is the slim model, and it was pretty good.
Lava lamp.
Lava lamps.
I had one of those. I got
What
it
do
at
you mean?
Spencer Gifts.
What do you mean had?
I don't have them anymore.
Well, you're failing.
You ever tried to drink one of those lava lamps?
Connects.
Is that Connects?
Connects or a Erector set? Yeah.
Erector set is the.
I thought it was
I don't think
metal.
that's right. Yeah.
Erector is the metal, but Connects is basically the same thing, but with plastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's Connects,
Yeah. So
which I also never had.
Tinker Toys?
I had Legos.
no, Eric's coming in. Stuff that Connects. Yep, Connects.
Trolls.
Trolls. Gonna let that one roll right through. 'Cause,
Nothing to say here.
yeah. How they spawned that into a movie franchise, I have. Yeah.
Where's the Cowardly Dog?
That was emphatic. You must have liked the show.
I fucking love that show.
Another one I didn't watch.
Yeah, I never
Trolls.
understood how they made a movie out of Trolls when it's like there was no lore to these fucking things.
They
Like,
just
where-
And it was like 25 years later, maybe 30 years later.
Yeah, with Trolls, the movie was just like, oh, we can just put it because there's no lore. We can just make it pop songs. We'll just
And
get
because
Justin
nobody
Timberlake.
knows what it is anymore except for the adults. I mean, it was a weird choice.
Reed, I do believe that might be true. I think the creator passed away recently.
Rip to the voice actor. I guess was the voice
Might have
actor
been the
also
voice
the
actor
creator.
then.
I don't. Somebody involved in the show unfortunately passed away.
Furby.
Furby. I still remember the South Park where they like made Furbies like a Japanese plant to take over the entire country.
Dude, do any of you guys ever watch Kentucky Ballistics?
Did he kill Furbies?
Oh, he shoots Furbies all the fucking time, and it's fantastic.
Nice. I would.
That was like the first Christmas thing that was like the thing that was selling out everywhere that everybody
thought
was
that
trying
was
to get.
Tickle Me Elmo.
Everybody
Wasn't
was
this
buying
after?
them and scalping them.
Tickle Me Elmo was later.
I'm
Me
pretty
Elmo was
sure
better.
Tickle Me Elmo was before.
I do not.
I don't
believe you
think
are
so.
correct
Tickle
on
Me
that.
Elmo was far more advanced than Furbies.
No, that's the opposite. Furbies were. All right, I'm gonna look this. We're looking at Tickle Me Elmo came out in
96.
No,
1990.
nobody's ever
Nine-
tickled my Elmo.
Yeah, 96. So Furbies, electronic robotic toy, was 1998. So Tickle Me Elmo was first.
Fine.
I'm just sorry, Brahma, that you were wrong. So wrong.
I was
So
right on Furby.
incredibly wrong.
Ha-ha. Even though Slender tried to mad me.
What with the Furby? I answered it before you.
No, you didn't.
That's right on Shift.
Dude, check
it was
fucking tape. I've been answering them
tape.
all before you.
it was Chin Pokemon on South Park.
Oh, that's insane.
They
Slender.
combined Pokemon and Furbies. It was great. I'm guessing Pokemon might be coming up in this quiz too.
Light Bright.
Light Bright. They still sell that. Now it's a nostalgia thing.
Is it really a warning not to eat them?
What
Beanie
two
Babies.
letters on the tag? Oh, it's Thai. T-Y.
Yeah.
Because it's the manufacturer. Thai Beanie Baby.
Rugrats.
That's not Rugrats.
No, that's not Rugrats.
No. That's the one where they're older, isn't it?
No.
It's all grown up, or whatever it's called.
This has got nothing to do with Rugrats.
It's
Same art
really
style.
the same art style. It's just
It is the same art style, but it is not attached in any way to the same universe. I forget what the fuck it's called.
Soul Assassin says rocket power.
I think that's correct.
I have no memory of the show. I would have guessed I would have guessed the Rugrats because of, or a spinoff because of the style.
Somebody
Rocket
shoot this
Power is
piano
correct.
player.
Soul Assassin got it.
Yep.
Doug.
For bonus points, what was the love interest name?
Patty Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. Yep.
What was the best friend's name?
Skeeter.
Skeeter.
Yep.
What color was Skeeter?
Blue.
Purple.
Aqua.
Yeah, that's a debatable thing. It changed from like
it was blue greenish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Green, blue, blue, green.
It was one of those things where the shading would slightly vary depending on the episodes.
What sexuality was Skeeter?
But he was also the only blue character, right?
Skeeter was brosexual.
He was brosexual.
Well, wasn't the guy with the mohawk also a off color?
He was like yellow or green, right?
Yeah. So that was the only blue character, but there were other characters that were different color.
I'm pretty sure there were some adults that were purple.
Could be.
His bully was green. Yeah, it was the color system didn't really make sense. But
yeah.
What was the name? The name of his superhero character was
Quail Man.
Quail Man.
Quail Man.
It was
he had the little thing on his forehead. The mask.
Oh, man.
We all got that. Simultaneous.
I just gotta.
Brahma will appreciate this. Jim Carrey, the goalie for the Capitals. It was so fucking annoying going to Capitals games because every time he made a damn save, they had queued up Jim Carrey from the Mask clips, and they would play it on the jumbotron, and
that would piss me off so much.
It wasn't even like a really big saves. It was like every single save he made, where he held on to it, and they would go to a face-off. It was like smoking.
So anytime he froze the puck,
yeah, I wanted to hit somebody. And Rangers Capitals games were always a little bit testy anyway, especially if you went in a Rangers jersey. So it was
just constantly going smoking.
Yeah, well, and like whatever 3 other clips where he said, crazy lines from that movie. And
I agree with Eric. I wasn't a big fan of the Mask.
I didn't like the Mask. That was the only time Cameron Diaz really looked good to me, though.
The Mask.
The Mask, she was good. What was the one with Ewan McGregor that she did where she got kidnapped and he was the kidnapper? A Lifeless Ordinary. She looked good. And
never watched it.
Was she in Something About Mary? Was she in that?
It's Something About Mary. She looked really good because she didn't wear a bra most of it.
But she's not got big boobs. I mean, she's pretty.
She's
good.
No, it's her Joker smile that turns me off her.
No, I hate 70s.
Her mouth just got wider and wider and wider.
Depends on your definition of big, though.
No, when she started, she had a very nice set. As she got Hollywood skinnier, they started
and the Mask in that red dress, she looked great. Or was it a black dress?
It was red.
I think it was a red dress.
So
it was red.
She still had boobs even up to like the first Charlie's Angels movie, where she was like dancing around in her underwear and everything. It's just she got into the early O's. They convinced, when they convinced all of them they had to be sickly skinny, and she just bought into it like crazy.
Cigarettes.
National Geographic. No, Animals. Or no.
You're making
it was the one. No, it was the one that
cigarettes.
you could get through the Scholastic
name every
Book Fair.
magazine.
It was
Camel Lover.
it was
it's
something
called.
with zoo in the name. Zoo Books.
And the Can't Spell magazine is, I think you just said so.
Soul Assassin says Zoo Books. Eric says Wild Nature, and Shifty says Ranger
I
Rick.
think it's Camel
It's
Lover.
Zoo Books. It was in the National
I'm guessing Zoo Books.
Scholastic thing. Every year when they came
Smoker's
around, you could get
Digest.
the subscription.
So good.
Oh yeah, look, I remember that logo now.
Zoo Books,
Cigarettes
you
and
bald goose.
So it is funny because Camels did have like a rebate or mail away program where you could get kids merch.
So did
For your-
Marlboro.
For your
You could get all
cigarettes
kinds of stuff through
That's
Marlboro
right,
points.
Dude, I was saving up my Camel dollars so that I could try and get one of them sweet leather jackets with Joe Camel on the back, and then they discontinued Joe Camel.
I know.
My wife actually got the leather jacket before I was old enough to smoke through Marlboro.
Damn.
Oh, I wasn't old enough to smoke when I was saving up, but I'm like, as soon as I'm old enough, I'm gonna redeem these fucking things.
Back when they had the quarter, the dispensers at restaurants where you could just put in money and get a pack of cigarettes.
Give $5 and be like, "Oh, give me a pack of cigarettes out of the machine."
Yep.
Transimals or
Animorphs?
Animorphs, yeah. I think Animorphs is the right answer. That is another book series that was all up in Scholastic.
And
Hey,
then
buddy,
we
why
got
the long
furries.
face? How did you know?
A whole generation grows up on this, and then the next generation becomes freaking furries.
I still blame Lola Bunny, and they were like, "There's a like." I had my brother-in-law who is much younger, who is probably around like 10 when Space Jam came out, and I was like, "Oh well," we were talking with like, "Who was your first crush?" And for me, it was like, "Oh well, there was
Jennifer Connelly."
Well, there was. I would be like, "Oh, Kelly Kapowski," or like
Right.
all the like hot
Tiffany Amber
girls.
Thiessen,
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and he
Jennifer
and I was
Connelly,
like, "So what's
the Rocketeer?"
Yeah, and I asked him, I was like, "Who was yours?" And he was like, "Lola Bunny," and I was like,
Get it.
"Okay."
Especially when I saw
Lockhart.
Lola Bunny become an actual person in Natalie Dormer.
Yeah. My gen had Daisy Duck before Lola Bunny. I don't. Yeah, Kimberly Kimberly was a little later. I mean,
It was the 90s.
Yeah, she that was like
Eatlet
94, 95.
from Record of Lodos War.
Yep.
I mean, Chitara and Scarlet.
Scarlet was good.
Cap-
Chitara didn't for me. She looked weird. Captain
Scarlet.
Underpants.
Captain
yeah,
Underpants.
Captain Underpants.
Was
Yes.
this 90s? I feel like at this
Yeah,
point.
it came out in the 90s. It was like 97 when it came out.
Well, yeah, I was in high school, so I didn't read this shit. And I didn't
I'm
have any
saying-
siblings who were old enough to read yet.
I'm pretty sure that was a typo. He meant Tila. Tesla from He-Man. Elon Musk.
That's on the
got it.
phone doing an autocorrect.
Yep. Captain Underpants, late 90s. Dave Pilkey has made so much money off Scholastic because he went from Captain Underpants, which was huge, into Dog Man.
I think my kids read Captain Underpants for a while.
Of course they did. It's very still is. They still sell that stuff. What book series is this? It's not highlights.
I don't know.
I recognize it, but I don't have any clue.
I don't
what
even
the
really
book series
recognize it.
is.
I Spy.
Yeah,
I think
Okay.
I remember.
It was like Where's Waldo, but
with real
different objects and stuff. Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth, R.I.P. their lead singer.
He looks like shit in that picture.
Well, I mean, he
That was
always
when
looked
he was.
bad.
That was the 90s when he actually looked normal.
He needed to put the sunglasses back on, dude. Nobody wants to see your eyes.
Bad Take Bojan has the advantage because she was probably starting to get these things for her kids by the tail end of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eric said he had this book.
Oh, nice. There you go.
A lot of people had the book. I just couldn't remember the name of it. I mean, it
I
was
never saw
essentially
that
Where's Waldo?
Converse.
Chuck Taylor's.
Converse All-Stars.
Chuck Taylor's.
I mean, that's a
Yeah, but
Converse
they're
All-Star,
Converse.
and 70s definitely
Converse.
took that one.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Well, that's
never
not-
knew. My daughter wanted nothing but those, so I was always looking for unique ones together.
Yeah,
Well, what's
my
crazy is-
wife has. He loves
For-
Converse.
For me, everyone
All-Stars.
started getting into Vans. Like if you instead of Chuck Taylor's, like Vans skating shoes were the ones everybody was going for.
Oh,
See,
I was going in for Vans.
Maybe it's regional, but I know they had the name Chuck Taylor on them, but out here we only called them Converse All-Stars
yeah,
until
us too,
way
just
later. Then they
Converse.
became Chuck Taylors.
No, out
was
here
all-
it was always Chuck Taylor's.
It was always Converse.
For us, it was Converse
So
or
it's an East
Converse
Coast
All-Stars.
thing. It's an East Coast thing because I was out in Illinois and we called them Converse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like the only shoe Converse made.
Yeah, Soul says I want a pair of red Chucks, but that was what I do. Yeah, yeah, that
We
for
just
us-
didn't use that
Vans are so
terminology
good
where I
shoes.
was at.
Yeah,
We,
for us out here, like
we
it
live
was
about
Chucks.
45 minutes down the road and they've got a Vans outlet. We get a lot of shoes over there.
We everybody wanted it was all from where in the East Coast, at least in Northern Virginia, it was all about the Jordans. Everybody needed to get the new Jordans. You like
I had a
kids
pair of the.
That was everybody everywhere in America for a while.
I had a pair of the first Rodmans, the ones that laced
Of
on the
course.
side
Of
instead
course
of
you
the
got
top.
Rodmans. Oh, you would get Rodman shoes.
Loved them.
You know those things were made in Korea.
I don't care. You know, all
No.
Nikes are made in China. Who
If they were
cares?
if they were Dennis Rodman shoes, they were made in Thailand by lady boys.
Do you guys remember the first Rodmans?
I don't.
They were
Now,
like
I
black
remember-
and green, and they literally laced on the side.
I did not
like
even realize that Rodman ever got a shoe deal.
The inside of your foot is where it laced, not across the top of your foot.
Now
That
Shifty's
seems
bringing me
awful.
back. I had a pair of pump, like I got pump shoes when they were the new ones because I was like, I don't want Jordans, I want pumps. You can adjust the size. You go pump pump. You had that little switch
Pump,
to
pump.
release. You
I'm out,
remember
bad
you had the
guys.
switch?
I am running out of air. Gotta get pumped.
Man,
You
and
just
we had
should
to
have got
go
the
like
moon boots. You should have just got the moon boots.
oh, pumps were like that was Reebok's big way to compete with Jordans, and it sucked me. And I was like, yeah, pumps sound great.
Here, I found a crappy picture of them, but let me share it real quick.
I still can't believe you're the only person I've ever heard of who had the Rodman shoes.
I didn't
All
even,
right.
like I said, I didn't even know.
All right, you click. I think we're
I
both-
was a Bulls fan.
I haven't touched anything.
I didn't even know
Okay.
Rodman.
You've
had
got to take
shoes.
yours off to put that one on. So they laced on the side.
Jeez,
That is fucking gross.
it's messy.
Brahma, I mean no offense when I say this, but those shoes look retarded.
Yeah, but they were Rodmans.
Spare the Rodman, spoil the child. That's what we used to say.
Oh
He
my
actually
God,
had
those are-
a number of different these I think no, that was the Nike Airs. He actually had a number of different shoes that came out over the years. But these were the ones I had. But the swish was not white, it was also green, I think.
all right. The
I agree with
Was-
you, Clay. Those are hideous.
So
I'm going to show the most.
No
The
wonder
most-
Rodman never lasted.
All right, so the most dramatic shoe that I ever went for that wasn't a Jordan, just because I was like, oh, these look all right.
Oh my God!
Like-
Wait, hold on, pause, time out. Did this just become a women's show?
No, it's because it's
Then
talking
why
about.
are we talking about fucking shoes right now?
I got the Sean Kemp ones
because we're
that
talking
were
about
black
men's
white.
shoes.
These ones.
And don't
That are-
talk about shoes.
Do you remember those? The Sean Kemps that had like the.
Nope.
I was like, they're black and white. They're pretty cool. I'll
Did
get
anybody
those.
have the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars?
He was a little
Not
bit.
even
You know,
he had those.
it's like, oh, I want the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shoe. Which one? The one he used to kick Bruce Lee right in the chest.
I had the
You know how much
Meadowlarks.
this is killing my soul right now, Imp? They are simultaneously talking about shoes and sports.
Why do you think I'm ignoring them?
Because you always ignore us?
Not always, but as soon as you start talking about sports, it's all like just clicks and whistles to me.
Eric, men pay thousands of dollars for shoes just to decorate the wall. That's right.
I
We got
don't.
No, I just have plastic robots
No,
all over mine.
At this
Slender's like,
point,
I
I've got
pay
3 pairs of shoes.
Slender's
One is
like,
a
I
boot,
pay
one is a
thousands of
shoe.
dollars to decorate my wall with swords that are banned in the UK.
True. I need to be able to fight off the redcoats if they ever come to arrest me.
They won't know what to do. Like if the redcoats come in and he takes down his maul swords, they're going to be like, "No, we have no defense against those. We banned
Our
them
nightsticks
years ago."
can't defend against this ninja sword.
That's what I love about having my Viking sword. I could look at a freaking Brit and go, "Hey, you see, look familiar? Bet some of your ancestors got gutted by one of these."
It's like
They must have reproduced before they were gutted. Then
Imp is going to start doing shore raids against England.
Hey, you know, my people were one of the 2 groups of people that had prayers written about them, and guess what? It didn't work.
Imp is going to be like, Slender, you remember the show Vikings? Let's do seasons 1 and 2.
Funnily enough, all those boats coming over from France with immigrants to Britain are like the Viking raids of old.
Yeah, but at least we kick something.
Full house.
Wow. Hey, how many? Let's play the game. How many of these people have felony convictions now? 1, 2. I'm pretty sure. Did Dave Coulier ever get arrested for any?
No,
I feel like
he just had a
No,
messy
he
divorce.
was actually a nice guy.
It wasn't even a divorce. It was just he really
He was
pissed
just
off Alanis
eviscerated.
Morissette.
By the way, man, did you know they don't reverse or blur out that lyric anymore on regular radio? I was
Go down on you in a theater?
Yeah, I was like, I was in the car. My son, who's 10, was in there. The regular rock radio's playing. That song comes on. I'm like, okay, it's the radio. It's not satellite radio. It's gonna
The
be
FM,
safe.
not the satellite. Okay.
And it'll be fine. And it's the very beginning of the song. Is she perverted like me? Would she go down on you in a theater? And I was like, oh no, I hope he doesn't ask questions. I hope he don't ask questions. And so, and right after the lyric, he goes, "Dad?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Did Alanis Morissette have a lot of hit songs?" I was like, "Oh, thank God." Yeah, she did. Like, her album did pretty well.
Yes, she had one called Ironic that wasn't ironic in any way.
But that's why it was ironic, because it wasn't ironic. So ironically, it was ironic.
So they
I
did.
did like Lori Loughlin back in the day.
They did still. You still would. You still would. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Like one of those is married to one of those guys, right?
What?
Like not in real life, but like
Lori Loughlin. Rebecca was married to
young folks.
Yeah, and
Rebecca
then
was married to Jesse.
And Aunt Becky moved in with him into the attic that they converted into an apartment. Yeah, so the characters were.
If you watch the reboot, because even though Jodie Sweetin went through a whole bunch of crap in between this and when the reboot started, Jodie Sweetin blossomed into like triple D's.
Apparently, all the meth went straight to her chest.
Exactly. Because they are fantastic.
She's just an ungrateful bitch, though, so I have no respect for her because Candace Cameron Bure got that show made and had to fight to actually get her on it because the people who produce it didn't want her there because of her issues. She fought to get her on the show, and that restarted her career back into Hollywood. And when Candace Cameron Bure was getting attacked for being a traditional Christian woman, Jodie Sweetin threw her under the bus, and basically, so I was like,
it was basically like the Roseanne situation with the Connors.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a dick move.
Yeah,
someone fights for you to get you a job and she also made sure they were all paid equally as the 3 leads. when Candace Cameron Bure would have made
doesn't
more
take
money.
away from her chest size.
You have
horrible
a
person,
perspective.
great chest.
Great tits. There's a lot of women like that.
Got milk?
Got milk?
Got milk. My favorite one of those ads was the Aaron Burr one, where it's the radio station, and it's the guy who has like all the Aaron Burr merchandise and runs the Aaron Burr Museum. And he's like, he had just eaten like a peanut butter sandwich, so he's like, Aaron Burr, Aaron Burr.
Right.
Isn't it got milk?
Yeah, it's got milk.
It's got MILF. No, got MILF.
If you were the dairy people, would you immediately go to Sydney Sweeney to restart this ad campaign?
Right. That's perfect.
Who was the original MILF?
Cleopatra.
Would it be Eve?
No.
You said the original.
Like when the
assume he's
word
talking about
originated.
American Pie, because
Oh,
that's
American
what
Pie with Stifler's mom was where it got
Jennifer
popularized.
Coolidge.
President Coolidge's wife?
Kate Upton is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Stifler's
was-
mom was Jennifer Coolidge.
I liked
Calvin
it.
Coolidge's wife was the first MILF.
Yeah, that movie. That movie they don't play it anymore because it's got so many things that current year they would cancel everybody. They go after the fact that like the live streaming of the naked girl without her consent.
Yes.
And all this whatever.
It's foreign
funny.
exchange student.
Yeah.
She disappeared. Shannon Elizabeth? Was that
I
her name?
think yeah, she was in
She was also in 13 Ghosts.
no, but she was also in was it a Jane Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yeah.
And then they brought her
Was she a
back
Bond
for
girl
the
at one point?
sequels. No,
No,
she
I
never.
don't think so.
Denise Richards.
No,
was the
Denise
Steve
Richards was the Bond girl
Denise Richards
from
was
that
a
era.
physicist. She was a physicist, wasn't she?
Named Christmas, because Christmas came twice that year.
Christmas Jones.
Christmas Jones. In a wet
Fresh
t-shirt.
Prince
Yep. Fresh Prince.
of Bel Air. Nirvana.
Oh, come on.
Kurt Cobain was
Kurt
the lead
Cobain.
singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's well known Ascendant Art lore that we all agree what happened to him.
Yeah, you
Courtney.
didn't miss.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Courtney.
Well, yeah, but still.
She didn't miss.
You know, if ever
Kurt
you need me to
Cobain
ask
didn't
about it,
kill
I got one
himself.
question for him. What does a shotgun taste like?
Yeah.
And how, with that amount of heroin in your system, did you pull the trigger?
Well, his answer would be Courtney's love.
Yes.
And by the way, she's now going to be a citizen of the UK.
That's right.
Because Donald Trump is possibly looking into things. And
Oh,
there is no statute of limitations on murder. Just saying. It's a thing. It's not a cold case, man. Frances Bean's been asking questions, so she had to get out of the country.
The bass player, Chris, what was his name? Nosoliak or something like that. Nobody knows the pronunciation, but he became like a real estate agent, a realtor.
Right. He's much happier, probably.
Yeah, and Dave Grohl became.
And Dave Grohl cheated on his wife.
I mean, well, Dave 30 years later.
Dave Grohl became a big farmer shill and then cheated on his wife.
I mean, he wanted to give shots everywhere.
Shots.
It's funny that like who would have put money on Dave Grohl being the probably
the successful one out of
Nirvana.
Yeah.
Well, he had something going for him. He was still alive. The Shag.
That's not even spelled correctly. All that?
Fat people.
All that,
No.
yeah. No, I think it's all that.
All that fat.
That's the guy who's on SNL still.
Keenan.
Is that show still going? SNL? Is SNL still
Somewhat.
on? Oh, yeah.
They have,
it just
they
said
have one
it's
funny
anniversary.
skit about every 5 years.
Why does the dude on the left look like the comedian, the one who does the Trump impersonation? what is his name? Shane Gillis. He looks like Shane Gillis, which is funny.
Oh, I don't see that one.
The guy all the way on the left.
Yeah.
You don't see Shane Gillis a little bit in that?
Not me.
All right.
Looks like Jack Black.
Also, no.
It is funny that they
he just looks like a fat guy with semi-red hair.
What's her name was on all that? The one who went crazy after because she had been abused by
the one who is in She's the
Amanda
Man.
Bynes. Yeah,
Amanda Bynes.
She was like pretty big for a while. She was.
That's
right
the
up
second
there.
time that's come up this week on shows that I've been on.
That Amanda Bynes was completely destroyed by being an abused TV child actress. Yeah.
During that era of Nickelodeon.
Yeah. So it's a sad story, man. She had a lot of potential to be famous. She was pretty popular. And then they moved right into Good Burger, which was also
Kenan Thompson.
Yeah. And then I think he's been on SNL since then, like since 2004.
Pretty
Never
much.
heard of him.
He's not funny, and he's been on SNL for like 15 years now.
I do like that he actually openly jokes that they just won't fire him because he's black. Like they need someone here who can
He's
do
black
that role.
and fat. I mean, he's
no
no Chris Farley.
Is he gay?
Mood ring.
Ooh. Did any of you ever have one of those, and did they ever work?
Well, they never predicted your mood, but yes, they changed colors.
It was just based
on the temperature of your skin.
They put you in a bad mood.
I feel like Slender. Did you ever have a mood ring?
Nope.
Slender had a cock ring, didn't he?
Slender's so mad he can't end the show already.
I'm actually shocked that Slender answered.
We're almost done. Almost.
I'm just trying to say as little as possible so Chad doesn't get an idea for a
Spice Girls.
15-minute
And they're not
story.
a band. I hate when they call them a band. These acts, they're not bands.
Yeah, what instrument do each of them play?
Exactly.
Some of them
played
the skin
twat.
flute.
Some of
The
them played
voice.
twat.
I know that Scary Spice definitely had a child with Eddie Murphy. So
They certainly did do a lot of throat exercises. That's true.
I don't even know that. All right,
It's weird because I mentioned them today. You were saying about Amanda Bynes. I was talking about the Spice Girls today, and here they are.
I know that
Weird.
one. All right, the redhead is Jerry Hallowell, right? And
Jerry Halliwell, and then there's
the other
Posh
one's
Spice.
Victoria Beckham.
Victoria Beckham.
What is Scary Spice's actual name? It's I don't know the actual names of the other three.
Does anybody care?
There's Ginger Spice, Baby Spice, Scary Spice, Sporty Spice, and Posh Spice.
Oh,
Nobody gave a crap about their real names.
All right, I'm playing against Slender.
DuckTales, and that's not the real DuckTales.
Yeah, it's funny. They could have just used the actual 90s image, but no.
I was going to say, I don't remember Huey, Dewey, and Louie having square heads.
But wasn't the original DuckTales the 80s?
It actually just ran through the 90s. It was renewed.
Did it go through?
Yep. It even had the movie release in the 90s. I didn't
think it lasted that long.
The 2017 DuckTales is actually a legit good show, and it is probably a good example of how to reboot something nicely. It had nothing but love and nostalgia for the 80s and 90s show. All right, now we got Rugrats. Oh no, that's Tommy Pickles.
Yeah.
Right? Was that his
With
name?
the question
Tommy?
up top, Tommy Pickles, yeah.
All right, so there we go. That was it. So did we have fun? Is that that style? Would we like doing one like
It's
that?
pretty good.
Where we have a mix of different things that aren't just one type
I
of
like it.
trivia, where it could have like movies, TV, music, pop culture, toys. Like I like the idea of doing like 80s, 90s, early O's stuff, just mixing things.
Stuff that fits in with our ages and
Our ages
chat's age.
and our chat's demographic.
I mean, I like it other than the fact that it took over an hour to get through a 10-minute video.
You
We're
know,
better at mad fapping
oh
on
my
this
god! I
than we
just
are
noticed
on
that
mad fapping something.
I just noticed that the Easter Bunny had eggs too, and that you're holding them in your hand, and it looks really creepy, like an alien thing. That's
Those are no
disturbing.
eggs.
What do you do? What did you get? What are you going to do with that bunny and to the people you find in the woods, Slender? That's really weird. I
Come
like
to the
the
woods
image.
to find out.
It fits you. Fits you. All right. Imp, anything coming up?
Considering it's going to be with all you guys, I'll let you say it.
Good job. Imp.
I mean, it's true.
So in that queue, we'll go right to 70s, who probably is the first one up with something Imp might be on.
Well, yeah, I will be. But Saturday night, obviously, Bram and I were boarding. Monday, my show will be a Canon Film Club episode, and we're going to be doing the Canon movie The Last American Virgin from the 1980s, one of those teen sex comedies. Not a lot of people might have seen it, but it was pretty popular.
Wasn't that a remake of a movie they had done in Israel?
Probably, and it was. It had its moments. I've had to be very careful about the images that can be shown of this one, and it's a little bit darker than a lot of the comedy, the sort of teen, an average '80s teen comedy. So that could be good fun. So
Bad take. Bad take. At the beginning of the trivia, Good Take asked how much longer the stream would be. I said, pretend it's football with 10 minutes left in the quarter. That's right, a lot of stoppages.
and I might be doing, well, I think a future show might be on this movie, which I bought today, a copy of The Vampire Lovers.
And
We'll
to
be doing
expand on Bad Takes
We'll be
thing
doing that
there
soon,
too. It's 10 minutes left in the last quarter, and everybody's still got all their timeouts.
Yep.
So anyway,
Chad's gonna use them.
Well, Brahma's gonna use them on Rodman shoes. So I'm gonna use mine.
Yeah.
I do like the lore that Brahma was the only person in America who like sought out the Rodman shoes. Mom, Dad, I need these. They lace on the side.
Are they worth anything?
The worm. The worm.
Slender was a Bulls fan, and I don't think he even cared about.
I didn't even know there were Rodman shoes, and I was a Bulls fan, and I had the Jordans.
Like Rodman didn't even know there were Rodman. There was Rodman shoes, probably.
I was a Bulls fan. I could not afford the Jordans because my parents weren't going for that. So the Rodmans at $50 was a steal.
All right, Brahma, promote away.
Bourbon and boarding tomorrow night, bullpen on Sunday with Little Chad, and then the rest of the stuff I do throughout the week. And I do think we have a Christian panel coming up next Wednesday. So
nice. You can do the Tate's Part 2 stuff since things heated up for him in the last 24 hours. Slender, any Ascendant Arcade promotion you want to go do?
We're doing a fire pit tomorrow, so no Ascendant Arcade tomorrow, so probably Sunday night. We'll try to stream.
We're gonna go
We're gonna try and stream last night, but then like the movie went long and then we hit there was an accident and like it was like almost 11 by the time I got home. And then, I helped the bride take out the trash and everything, and I was like, you know what? There's no point in firing up a stream for less than an hour. So I just went to bed.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's keeping the audience ready. That way you can commit to really going deep on there. And I promise this time I won't start a fight with the mermaid people.
Yeah, don't attack the locals. Don't try to steal their shit.
I didn't know they were that badass. It was just I was just trying to get the good stuff.
If Slender tells you not to attack something, listen.
Yeah, as opposed to the giant golem things where he's like, "Oh yeah, we can take it," and
we won, didn't we?
It pulled
Slender
us out.
tells
of
me to
this.
keep NPCs alive in games. Don't listen to Slender.
We were fighting this thing, and he's like, "Oh, it'll be fine." And as I'm in
Brahma, I want you to play this game with us, and yes, I want you to attack them. I want to, please. I'm begging you, do it.
Which game is it?
We need to go deeper.
We need to go deeper. We have to run a sub and then go out of the sub and fight off stuff in the trench. It's good. It's a fun game. You have to watch some of the clips to really get a feel for it. but it's actually pretty fun, especially when we have a full crew. Is 4 the full crew?
Yeah.
4 is the full crew.
Yeah. So it was definitely a fun game to stream too, because you have to do teamwork to make the dream work, and obviously from our past streams we're really good at not getting on everybody.
Yeah, we're so good.
We're just always positive and uplifting.
So it's the Bonnie Blue game. You have to have a team, and you have to go deeper and deeper.
I mean, that's how you get the money.
Exactly like that.
That's how you get the tips, Brahma. That's how you get the tips. Oh, well, all right.
Just the
on
tips.
On that note, I wanted to say, I'll do what Slender unfortunately hasn't gotten permissions to do, but he's going to send messages to Matt immediately about needing this. So thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate your time this week, everybody. Please share.
If I can't,
this is not at all how Slender would be doing it. He would have just cut to the outro.
End the show, we are going to revisit whether or not I'm going to continue being on this show.
Oh, that was just hurtful.
Listen, man, I got to have some degree of power, or I don't feel like I'm an equal partner in this venture, and so I'm just going to go do my own.
You sound like a federal judge.
I can fix this for you, Chad.
Do it, Brahma. Do it.
No, don't.
No, put yourself back there and then kill the stream. Do it.
I can't. I don't know where the outro video is because I haven't looked at anything. I actually did hit end stream quite a bit ago, but since I couldn't play the outro because I don't know where it is, I couldn't pull a Slender for you. Slender. Sorry.
It could have ended
I tried.
exactly at 3 hours, but now it's run over.
A Machiavelli production. The stream's now behind, but there's no need to be glum. We'll return with more jests, with humor to come. So click that damn subscribe and let the good vibes thrive. For the next grand stream, we'll surely jive.
Ascend and I, we've charted the street with synapses sparking, hilarity you can't believe.
You've brought your joy, so now you must go. But keep the party in your heart, yo. Keep the giggles, keep the banter, keep the screams to light. Until our next stream, keep the fun in sight. In this virtual voyage where streams do end, remember with Ascend and Art, we'll always fucking ascend. Oops, we forgot about Imp, he's bound to reappear. With chaos in his wake, all we can do is persevere. Are you happy now, Imp?